Oh, what's up? Okay, I'm so happy. That was easy. I thought it was gonna be, So I mean, I guess let's start telling everybody we on.
Okay. Well,
If
I,
you have
I actually just did
okay.
a story letting them
Oh,
know
okay.
like at 5 minutes and exactly what time. So yeah.
All right. Well, let me make sure this shit's working too, because
hmm I love your hair like that. I love your
Yeah,
hair like that. Yeah,
me
it's cute.
too. I feel so free. I feel
hmm
so like new, and I'm about to be my B days here around here. So
Look at
new.
this though.
It's my new year. You feel me?
The
What
colors. The
I
colors.
Green, 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 green. Oh shit, too. Look, green. Let's be
Yep.
intentional. You feel me? Mellow will.
Yep.
All right. Let me see if this working. It looked like it is. I don't know. Maybe I should just send a picture. I'll post like a picture. We on here.
Okay. I'll do the same as
We
well.
up on here, y'all. Come join the live.
Look up
Let's
real quick.
see.
All
And I'm gonna
right.
do the same, but I'm gonna do it this way.
Okay.
Damn. Let me zoom in.
Oh, I can share.
Screenshot. So if I screenshot and go out again, it'll work, right? Let me see. I'm so happy to do this. Oh, you paused on me. All right. Well, we just gonna go and we live out here. But you live. All right. Let me see. All right. Sis went out and came back again. But yeah, we gonna let them know we here. Let's see. IG. We live. Let me get the link to the live. Ah, yeah, you came right back. Let me see. Okay, word. It's working. So let me see here. Share, copy, and IG, Facebook. Not now. Photo. Your girl is. I'm gonna put the link right here.
Yeah.
All right. We live.
And the lab chat, is that all going to be visible?
Um,
It's a chat and view options, top chat, some messages. You may see some, you may not. And then it says live chat. You can see all your messages, or you can hide them.
I
But
don't know. I don't really know how to look at them, why they go. I was always wondering how do you do that, to be
it
honest.
should all come up like as if we're on Facebook Live or TikTok. It should pop up the same way.
Uh,
So we have one person here. Hello.
we gonna start regardless because we know everybody. I don't know where they at. I don't know if they
Right.
at church. I don't know what time it
Right.
is, but thank the universe, thank the
Right.
creator that there is technology. Y'all can check it out when y'all check it
Later.
out
Right.
later. All right. So if it's your first time here, then you probably already know in the description is telling you everything we gonna talk about. But this is the first time that we coming together to talk about. Let me just tell you the intentions. Like we want y'all to be free.
Right.
Like we being mothers, and we have this nurturing, we got this care, we got this love for our own children and the future of our children. And so when we were going through the trials and the tribulations and trying to understand like what's going on, and then thank God for technology, we found out that we were being violated,
Right.
and then the things that we went through, the trauma that was put on us, we're like, whoa, this is
That right.
not it for our babies. Like we ain't about to have it for our babies. And so we're like, let's talk. We always talk. Like she held space for me when I was going through my thing. Then she went through something, and then we was holding space for each other. Then we was in
Yep.
the classes at Lawful Living, and it was like, yo, like there's just like a burn inside of us to let our people know, to let the people know, like, yo, y'all being violated. We gotta stop this. And that's why it's like, yo, we read the rules and we see, yo, we wasn't born like the sin is that we've been fooled to believe that we are that we've been fooled to believe that we're supposed to participate in an administration that we was never supposed to be a part of, that we
No.
was originally free.
Right.
So that's the point. Like we want y'all to understand what we went through and to hopefully get y'all to get free yourselves.
Right.
But if this is the first time y'all hearing about it, that y'all would not be like participating in this because this is the future of your children. And if it happened to us, good, healthy mothers, it can happen to anybody. And so that's why we feel like we got a different perspective then because there's a lot of people out there, God bless them. There's a lot of people out there bringing the awareness and keep bringing the awareness and keep bringing the awareness about how we all just been violated. And we're like, thank y'all because y'all helped us get out of this. But now what else can we do so we can make sure this shit ends this year? Y'all saw the
Right.
post. So yeah,
The
and
last
it all starts
generation. We are the
with the
last
next
generation.
generation. So yeah, so I'm Jess Ease. You introduce yourself, sis.
Hi, I'm Maya Styles. I'm known for doing hair. I'm a loctician here in the Richmond, Virginia area, as well as a herbalist and a doula. And I met Jess. I say, shoot, it's been almost what 9 months now, maybe.
Damn.
Yeah, almost 9 months. I ran across her story, and my spirit just made me move. I had to move. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I'm feeling like it was my children that had been stripped away from me. So that's how I came into contact with Jess. And then, like she said, I was there to hold space when I felt she needed it. And Spirit really did like connect us to the point where I felt when she needed it. It have been times that I didn't call you or text you, and you be like, "Wow, like that's crazy." And then I turn around and I had my own situation going on with my now ex. Uh, they said that he pressed charges on me, but he didn't press charges on me. The Commonwealth of Virginia is the ones that tried to sue me and press charges on me. Um, and I was walking around with so-called warrants on me for almost 2 years. Exactly the day that I got served the warrants and got arrested, it was exactly 254 days.
Wow. And
Exactly 254 days. I ain't gonna go into all the minutes and hours and minutes and seconds because I definitely know exactly all of that too. But it was exactly 254 days, and it was at that moment that I realized that I've been through the system before. I took a plea when I was 18. It didn't do any justice. Um, and I just knew that I have 5 daughters that are carbon color as well. And if I allow a system to uh sue me and just do whatever it wants to do with me, then the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So I decided
right.
to add that into my generational curses that I wanted to break this year.
And tell me why, like, did this happen to you? For me, when that
Mhm.
happened to me, for me to just like, what else can you do when everything was taken from you, or you've been violated so, and you really was just doing what you supposed to do? How could when you have to ask, how can this happen? Like, what happened? For me, I had to tap in the spirit. I had to figure out what that was. And so for me, didn't it feel like you were like connect like you it brought you back to the history books of things that you learned of about our
Yeah,
history, right? Did it
yeah.
not
It,
like
it made me feel like I had a string on my back, like I was a
right,
puppet. Yeah.
right? And then on top of that, I'm thinking like, yo, like, is this the feeling that my ancestors had? And they couldn't say nothing. They
At all.
couldn't do nothing. They
At
couldn't
all.
They had nothing to protect them. But we live in a time where we can say what we want to say. And
Yep.
we ain't gotta be worried about being so terrorized. Yeah, they did, right? Like that's what we
Right.
gonna talk about.
Right.
Where, like I'm saying, the stuff that we learned in the history books, how they was enslaving and whipping and
Yeah.
beating and
Yep.
killing
Yep.
in front of our
Cutting tongues.
children.
They will
Did you
cut
not?
tongues. They will cut feet off. And if you spoke your native language, they would cut your tongue off.
Yo, they just took your baby. You couldn't
Yep.
say nothing, do nothing. Everybody around you. But
It was
now we live
nothing
in
you
a
could do.
time though.
Yep.
So that's why I'm saying it's like, so that's why as mothers to get your kids taken like that. And or well, that's what happened to me. That didn't happen to you, but still because
I
of
mean, it
your
didn't happen to
childhood.
me like that, but I was
Yeah.
taken away from my kids.
So tell us
I was held
what
without,
happened.
yeah. So like the night that I got arrested, no, I wasn't held from my children that night, like for days or whatever. But I knew that once that happened that night, I knew it was a journey. I knew it was coming. I knew that it was some point in time where I possibly could be away from my children. And that's traumatic
Oh,
itself. Just the thought that,
every fucking minute that
yeah,
they keep you, inconvenience you from what you're
yes,
doing as a mother or providing
yes,
or protecting your children because
yes.
you was on your private time in your
Private.
private capacity
Yes, ma'am.
going to do what you got to do to take care of your babies.
Yep.
Were you not?
And that's exactly what
So
I
it
was doing. I
doesn't
was
fucking
actually,
matter. Just
yeah,
one
it
fucking
doesn't.
minute, you stop me and want to question me for fucking what, and then tell me to get out of my vehicle and tell me to. So
And it was two men. It was two men officers, no female at all. I asked for a female. They told me they didn't have any. I had on a dress, and it's dark outside. It was just traumatic. It was I
see,
feared
it's
for my
fear.
life.
You're
I
scared.
feared.
You're
That's and I
scared.
don't fear easily.
So you're not doing nothing on your own will. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You're doing it
Nope.
because you're thinking about, and that's another thing too. So some people they teach this stuff and they don't get it. Like, oh, why did you tell them that you don't have to talk to them and all that? What you're thinking
Right.
is what can happen. Like you have to take a moment because we've been so programmed for so long.
Yes.
You got to really take a moment to think about. You have to really know, and that's why I'm all about aligning with nature and just really tapping in because you really gotta take a moment, listen to spirit, and be like, because when they're coming at you, bump, 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 and the stuff that you heard, the stuff that you've
Yep.
seen, the movies that you watched, the books that you read,
Yep.
the things that you
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
you've been practiced on that for so long that it
Yeah.
takes some time for you to get to the point where, like me yesterday, I was like, bruh, and y'all saw the video of these
Mhm.
dudes over here talking about, ma'am, are you? And well, they
Yeah.
were asking me about burning trash or something. I'm like, it's private property.
Right.
It takes a minute for you to learn to stand in your birthright and be like,
Yep.
why are you talking to me? And be
Yeah.
peaceful about it. And without any fear in you to be like, you got to practice that.
Yeah.
So, but for you to be cool and then they walk away and you good and you walk in your birthright, right? So that's, but when it first happens to you, you're like me at the airport, they, it's wrong. Your spirit knows it's wrong, but you
Yep.
haven't practiced the words to say why. Ain't no fucking book. You know what I'm saying? That teaches that someone can just take your kids that came out of your
No.
vagina that you held for
No.
all these years, that you provided and protected, and they are not wards of the state. You just know it's wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
So
And the thing is, we always our people always be like, well, they've been doing this to us forever. They just go keep. We're not saying that anymore. We're not saying that anymore. No, no more. This is Rayshard Jamal, free my brother. He said they didn't F with the last generation, and I second that because we're not having it anymore.
they're not having that shit. And I'm telling you, and that's what happened. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's so much because I already did this. I already did this, by the way. And that's why I had to go this route where I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, my ex husband is doing all that he can to inconvenience me, to protect his reputation because he wants to win and he doesn't want his dirtiness and his stuff to be exposed.
Yeah.
And so, but he had, and I was a stay at home, whatever. That's a whole thing. But
Yeah.
he got a lawyer. He used the government, and because they want greed, want money.
Right.
He used them to try and inconvenience me and silence me, and I was scared out of my fucking mind. The same thing, but I was scared of him. I was scared what he was doing, and
Mm-hmm.
so, and then had to go to court and see how they don't give a fuck. I went to them to ask for help. I went to law enforcement to ask for help, and they did not give a fuck. That
No.
scared me. That was traumatic as well. I said, "Fuck it, I'm out of this fucking country."
Yeah.
Because I didn't have what it took to stand up. Then I come
Yeah.
back and they do it again. I'm about to fold.
But that was the universe and God letting you know that sometimes we try to get over it, we try to get around it. If you can't go through it, you go around it, right? Or you go over it. But no, sometimes you have to face it head on. You have to deal
Right.
with it.
And that's what
You know
happened
what I
this
mean?
time. And I said,
Yeah.
"Hi, I'm ready. Yo, let's go.
Hmm.
Ancestors, what? Spirit
Yeah.
team, let's go." Like,
Yeah.
I got nothing to fucking lose, and y'all ain't gonna get away with that shit. It's done.
Yep.
My baby over here was like that. She taught me we ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
We ain't letting people just push us fucking around. We gonna
Yeah.
stand on the truth
Yeah.
and know because the truth got you this far. So you prepared for this. You was
Yeah.
prepared for this. You was built for this. Last
Yep.
generation is done. It's time
Yep.
for peace. It's time for justice. It's
Yeah.
time for truth. This is
Yeah.
love. This is
Yeah.
love. The passion that you hear from us is love. It's a mama bear. You see the bear. You see
Yeah.
the lioness.
Yeah.
What they gonna you pull up.
Yeah.
So for us, the way we
Yeah.
speak nowadays, we understand that we connected to the divine. We use our power. We write. We read their rules,
Yeah.
and they're perfect. They're fucking perfect. And so
So
then we're trying to understand it. You gotta understand it. You gotta comprehend it. Thanks,
yeah.
Muff Living, for teaching us what needs to be said. And then you get the paperwork together. You learn it, and then you submit it. And then they're like, "Oh shit!" You realize that
Like
actually
who she thinks she is?
you're not who you think she is, but because they're like, oh shit, we thought we controlled you, and oh shit,
Yeah.
you realize they're really scared, and that's why there ain't
Yeah.
nothing to fear, and that's another point we want to say: set y'all free to walk in your birthright, but it starts with the freedom of your mind, that they're not enslaving your
Have to.
mind.
Yep.
Period. So what
Yeah.
they do to
You
you
have
when
to.
you went over there with your notices? Well, you can start from wherever you wanted to, because I know you were starting at the car before, but
Out. Well, out. I don't even want to even talk about the traumatic part, all in like that part anyway. But from the
yeah.
first notice, I went and served those in person. I thought that's what I had to do because
See,
I'm still learning.
we
So I'm thinking that
program.
I have to even step into a courtroom. You know what I'm saying? Or into a court
Tell them,
building.
tell them that real quick, like real
And you
talk. Tell
don't.
them we're not
Which
supposed
part?
to.
Oh yeah, you're not really supposed to. When they give you a summons to court, or they tell you that you have to be to court, or they give you a ticket, or you have a warrant, that is an invitation. That is an
That's
invitation to
what
a
we're saying.
party.
Like, ignore that shit. We're supposed
Right.
to ignore that shit. Ain't nobody telling
Yeah.
us that. Everybody's
Yeah.
telling us you gotta go to court because they put
Yeah.
all that shit on the psychological warfare. They put it on all the TV shows. They had us
Everything.
watching
Yeah.
all the fucking court shows to
Yeah.
let them to program the people to
You
think
do
that you
not
have
have to
to go.
participate. You do not have to participate. You
The
don't have
only
to
way they
participate.
get paid is if you participate. That's
That's the
why the
only
fuck
way.
they programming us. They're programming us because of money, not because
Yep.
they just want to fucking kill us. Because people want to say, "Oh,
Yeah.
they want to kill y'all." That's what they would do to us. They would do that. They just want to kill black people all the time. No, they just want fucking money. They want
They just
fucking
want
money.
money. And if they can't get it from you, yeah, then they'll kill you. But
Like they ain't
but
got to break the
the
break.
the notice situation, putting in the notices, they first tried to the clerks. People say that the clerks don't have anything to do with it. They're just doing their job. But no, those clerks are a piece of work, okay? I had two different courts, well, three altogether, but two in Richmond and one in elsewhere, that I had to serve to. So I was strong. I created my own documents. Um, and I went down and filed them by hand myself. One court gave me a stamp stating that they received it. One court didn't give me a stamp stating that they received it. And I noticed that before I even got a chance to even go back into the courtrooms, I had this public defender that I never asked for,
Public pretender.
never signed for, a
Why?
public pretender.
Why we need them?
I don't
They
know, but
don't
I never
represent
asked for them.
right, and they
Usually
never.
they make you sign. Usually they make you sign for them. They ask you, do you want one? And they make you sign stating that you want one and you're letting this person represent you. I did not ask for one, nor did I sign anything for one, but I had this certain public defender, pretender, calling my phone. When I say he was calling, well, he wasn't calling my personal phone. He was calling my business phone because it's public,
Over
right?
and over and over and over again, right?
How
And
did he
same
get my
to me.
number?
Same to
How did he
me.
get my number? I still don't know how he even got my number, first of
Because
all.
this is what y'all have to understand. It's because they need you so bad. Like, think of the song
Hmm.
Rihanna, "You Needed Me." Like, real talk.
Uh-huh.
They need us so fucking
Hmm.
bad to be in that courtroom so they can get paid. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say is that That's why it's gonna. That's why the whole system's falling, because the love of
Yeah.
money is the root to all dysfunction, all evil.
All evil.
You love money over people. That's why mama
Yep.
bears are over here, because we put our children before money. We put our children before anything,
Everything. Yeah.
and we provide and protect them. So, but that's why their shit is all fucked up. They're so sloppy. They're so sloppy nowadays. They,
Yeah.
like you said, calling,
They
calling,
really
calling,
are.
sending you
Yeah.
all these invitations, have all this paperwork sending it to you. It's fucking
Yep.
evidence against them. So
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that, because that's what y'all gotta understand and stop being fearful, because
Yeah.
you don't go. Once you go, you're gonna have more shit you have to get yourself out of. Do not fucking go.
And when he called, he wants to talk on the phone, and I told him, "Give me 1 second so that I can record." So once he knows that I'm recording, he watch how he talking. They keep trying to call me a name that I told them that's not me. I go by whatever I said I go by. And after a while, they caught on to it. So when I finally did meet with him, because I agreed to meet with him at least once. I'll try anything once.
Yeah, but no, but
So
that's the thing, real quick. No
you don't
shame.
have to.
Right, we're not supposed. Honestly, we
You're not
advise
supposed
you
to.
not to. We're just
Yeah.
showing you at the beginning stage what we had to do when we had to
Right.
get rid of the fear and
Right.
reprogram our
And
minds.
I
And
still had some type of fear lingering around. I was still
right,
unsure. So I did. I went and met with him, and he had already received my notices from the courts that I filed. And
right.
he was like, "Yeah, I see you have your notices that you filed, your motion for discovery, in which I don't even know why I even filed a motion for discovery. I think I was stuck in between my notices of my capacity and just seeing what evidence they even had on me, because I really wanted to see whatever it was that y'all claim evidence. I always wanted to be an
Yeah. So now
attorney.
we, but real talk.
So
Now
that's
we
what
know
that
that.
was.
Now we know it doesn't even fucking matter. But at the
Right.
but because we doing whatever we fucking can do to get free. We trying to figure out. This is we walk through it, so y'all, and then we hope that we can share so
Hmm.
much so you can see the different mistakes that we have made, so that y'all can
Hmm.
run through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah. So basically, when I met with him, he said all that he was saying, like, how strong I am. And he's like trying to be my friend.
Blowing smoke up
And
your ass. The same with
yeah, basically
Joanne
blowing
Davy
smoke up.
over here, public
But
pretender.
right. And he was like, "Yeah, we need you down here," and da 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 da. And he introduced me to someone as we were walking out, and he was like, "Yeah, this is my client." I said, "No, I'm not." You know what I mean? And
That's what they
he
tried
just
to. That's
cackled a
what they
little
was
bit.
doing.
You
That's
know
what
what
they
I
was
mean? So
doing.
I
That's what
just
they trying
left.
to do to make you. It's called like a.
Yeah,
It's actual manipulation. Like it's actual a tactic. What they call
that's
it's like
exactly what it was.
assumption.
Yep, that's exactly what
It's
it
like
was.
they talk in a
Yeah.
way where you know how
And
it
they
is.
try to talk fast so that you don't even know that you're agreeing to stuff. You know what I mean? So I left, and he called again. He called soon as I left, basically. I guess he think that I have that phone, but I don't. My assistant has that phone. And so he called the phone, and soon as I got to my destination, my sister was like, the public defender's office called again. And I was like, "For what?" So I called back, but you really not supposed to reach out to them. You don't reach out to them for anything at
But
all.
you want to make sure that nothing's gonna separate you from your babies, right? So
Right.
you don't
Well,
know.
when they originally locked me up, that was the only reason I even signed anything for a PR bond. That was the only reason. I was honestly, the night that I got locked up, my only thought was making sure that I got home as quick as possible, because I have to breastfeed in a couple of hours.
Come on now, we are,
Two
and that's
babies.
the
I
thing. This
have
is
to
such a
breastfeed.
violation. So
That's
thank.
it.
Look at their
Yeah.
rules, though. They
Yeah.
got so many rules
Yeah.
that you can.
Oh, and the so-called magistrates told me. She said, "I'm gonna let you out on your PR, your own recognizance, right?" She said, "But you have to go to court, because if you don't go to court, then there will be an issue of a warrant for your arrest." At
So
that point, I
coercive
didn't even know
control.
anything really about threat, duress, and coercion.
Right. Nope. They ain't teaching
She
you in
threatened
the public
me.
school. They
She
teaching you
threatened
how to be
me.
a slave in the government schools. We was brought, and our
Yeah.
parents did the best they could. They didn't know that
Yeah.
they were being fooled. It's all coercive control. It's all honestly, high level like
Yeah.
manipulation. Um,
Manipulation. Yeah. And gaslighting.
yeah,
Because that's what they did. So her threatening me led to duress, which made me sign the papers. You know what I mean? And coercion is what brought me into the courtroom. So, when I did finally go to court and stuff, like I told you, because this is two separate courts now. When I finally did go down there, it was basically like they asked me did I want a public defender. I told them no. Basically, the judge was irritated by me. I read because he stated that he didn't receive my notices that I came
All
down
right,
there and
here's
personally
this
handed.
line because real quick. All right, real
Mhm.
quick before you say that, because that's what we want to. That's what I want to say about the born in where it says born in sin, but we're born
Right,
free. The sin
right,
is the government. That was the
okay,
born in under the government and being controlled by
right,
the government. Who is this God? This is a God who is the father of fucking lies.
yeah, a
So that's what I'm
fictitious
saying.
guy,
So tell me about this lying ass dude where you brought your
right.
notices, and on top of that, you don't you all you gotta do is everything from your home. We just learned this that all we gotta do is
Yep,
email our fucking notices.
that's it.
And you can put it in the mail too if you want to. You do
Yep,
not need to walk into their fake ass court. They're not
nope,
paying you to go there, and you don't
nope,
even qualify. There is no
nope,
unless there's an application and a timestamp that you
yep,
work for the motherfucking government. Then you don't need to
yep.
fucking be there. You were privately in a
You shouldn't even communicate with them over the phone. You should always communicate through via email.
email, if anything.
Always.
You have all that proof only.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
it.
talk to these motherfuckers.
I wouldn't call, I
Why,
wouldn't answer the phone
why
or
do you
anything
think? And why do you think that's why the people say you need an attorney because they don't attorneys don't represent like they don't know how to fucking represent people. Like that's
at
the
all. I
point of the
mean,
court.
their job, they have a
They work for
contract.
them.
Yeah, they have a contract. That's just what it is. They have a contract. And she proved the public defender that he tried to put beside me. She proved that day. I asked her, I said, are you willing to so called fight the case the way I want you to? That was the only way that I was going to allow her to even stand beside me. And she told me, I can only represent the person that's on the paper. I said, okay,
So
then
what the
get your
fuck
ass on then.
is that not? I thought that was me. So they're just
Look,
proving to you of exactly what you read in their rules. That ain't me. That whatever that you about to cash in and try to make some
right,
money off of my. That's called
right.
human trafficking.
It's
And guess
not
what?
me.
It's against our fucking. It's against the
So I
fucking
told
law,
her ass to go ahead and go sit down. I told
right?
her go sit
And
down.
she went right. She went
Yes, yes, she
because
did.
they work for us.
And she actually went proudly too, Jess. Like on some stuff like, whoo, now I won't get in trouble.
Because
Because
they
she
knew because
already knew how I was coming.
the
Because
power
I
behind
started
that
to read
one
my
notice.
notice.
That
Yeah.
power behind that one notice, they
That
try to
one
act
notice.
like, what
Yes.
is this? This is
Yep.
nothing. And when sometimes we could be
Yep.
like, wait, right? Like because what
Did I
we
do it right? Did I do it
yeah,
right? Did I
because
put the right words?
we see on TV that like this is
Yeah.
how it's done for so many we've been psychologically conditioned for
Yeah.
so many years.
Yeah.
So they lying, the father of lies, and then they're coercing you and they're
Oh, he
deceiving
lied.
you.
He said he never received my notice.
It was
And
stamped
the
in the
and the
motherfucking
public
docket,
defender,
right?
the so-called public defender said, Judge, I got this from your clerk. He got real firm with her and dropped
Like,
his voice
bitch,
down.
you on my team. I
Like
need
it's
to
right. You a traitor? You're not supposed to let these people know that you got this notice. When I say I didn't get the notice, you supposed to say, okay.
That's why I'm saying that. First of all, y'all have nothing. If whoever's watching, y'all got nothing to fear. When you
Nothing.
come in there on truth and you're on truth, that
Yeah.
alone is going
Yeah.
to like shine so much light on the darkness, and they're
Yeah.
gonna stumble and fucking fall
And
because
I know that to be true, Jess, because as I'm reading my notice, he orders me. He stands up and he points his finger at me and he orders me to be quiet or he's gonna hold me in contempt of
you
10
better
days.
you better be quiet. That can't be on the record. That can't be on the fucking record. The truth, we can't have the truth on the record because then you'll really be able to hold me accountable, like your motherfucking notice says.
Yep. His
We
recorder,
can't.
the lady that types to record everything to put it on the record, she stopped recording.
Yep, that's what happened to me too. And she even said she asked, "What's your oath of office?" Like she was like, "What the fuck? We supposed to?" Because normally when they enslave your mind,
Yep.
just like we do it to we domesticate these animals. What happens?
Yep.
Whatever the fucking we tell the animal to do, they do it.
They do it.
We go
Right.
there, we beat that ass, and then
Yep.
that animal goes this way.
Yep.
The animal go that
Yep.
way. Not this generation. We ain't
Yep.
fucking animals. We're
She
mothers.
stopped. She stopped. and she looked over at me, and I said, "Ma'am, you're supposed to record everything that's being said in this courtroom." When I said that, he said, "Be quiet," and then told the sheriff dudes to grab me. And I looked at everybody and called them by their names, and I said, "If you touch me, I'm going to sue everybody for anybody that's involved in this conspiracy." And he did whatever he had to do to get me out of that courtroom so the rest of the people couldn't hear me. He just wanted to get me out of the courtroom. That's pretty much what it was about. It wasn't so much that he even really wanted to send me to jail.
But he wanted to silence you.
He wanted to silence me.
He wanted to keep you quiet.
So he threatened me.
That's
Okay?
against the law.
So with that being said, even if I was to actually be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a plea, or I'm gonna plea this or plea that," which I would never plea to anybody but God. Okay?
Yep.
That's the only person that I plead to is God in the
Right.
universe. But had I wanted to plead, it still would be thrown out because it's under threat, duress, and coercion. And the Constitution, come on now, like,
Protects
if
us.
we plead or anything in court, it has to be voluntarily. But if you tell me that I have to do this, that, and the third, or else, you take away me being voluntarily.
They violate you too because of the due process too. They have to do the whole
Yeah.
due process before they go and snatch you up. But now they
Have
just trying to
to.
put you up. That's why I keep saying
Yep.
they trying to lock you up in the hot box like Django's
Yep.
wife, so you can come out and be like, "Okay, massa,
Yeah.
whatever you say, massa."
No.
Not this generation. We're not fucking.
Soon as I got
playing.
in there, I immediately started taking notes. It's such and such time. I got arrested at such as, I took notes from the time I sat down. I did my little crying for 5 minutes. I gave myself
Oh,
5
we gotta
minutes.
feel that
Because
shit
in my
matters.
mind, but that's what they wanted. They wanted me to do that. In my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, I just told my children that I'm coming right back. That I'll be right back. Court don't take that long. So they expected for me to come right back. I know that I got a certain window time for me to breastfeed and stuff like that. And the first thing I'm thinking is, oh my God. And then something said, like, I ain't even gonna say something. I said to myself, like literally, my ancestors were with me, my nanny, everybody. They was like, "Are you serious? I know you not. So you talk that shit, but you don't really live that shit, huh?"
Yo, this is what it might look like for y'all to get free. If mama can do it with the breast milk and being pain,
Yeah.
that happened to me. They locked me up twice without due
Twice.
process. I wasn't even
Yep.
there was nothing like they
No
just
reason.
locked her up because she ain't
Yep.
doing what we told her to do, and we gonna try
Yep.
to make her do what we told her to do.
Yep. Yep. Yes, they did. Yes, they
And
did.
and if we can
And,
do it, y'all can get
and
free
they
too. Cause we
still
out here.
threaten you too. They threaten you too. They told you if you didn't do this, then you'll never get your baby.
And I said that in the court. I
So,
was like, "Is that a
are you
threat?"
threatening me?
And she
Right.
was like, and even the lady on the thing was like,
Yep.
"Yeah,
That's the same exact thing that happened to me.
because guess what? We smart as hell. We
Yeah.
all we do. I'm not even that like that. It's a different generation. We read. We got the technology
No,
right here.
facts.
We read
Look,
your
I didn't
rules.
start reading for real. I didn't start reading until 2022. Like really, I wouldn't read anything. Like I would read the necessary things just to get by, but I was never one of them people. I would skim. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But no, now you have to read everything because
they will
every
fucking
time you go
violate you.
somewhere, especially if it involves you putting your supposed to be signature on it. And I say that because, especially dealing with hospitals, courts, anything, you'll go into the hospital for labor and delivery or whatever. We could just go throw that like that, right? And not to get too much off a subject, but you'll go in there and then they give you all these pieces of paper that you're supposed to sign with these small ass writing. And then you'll sign it all. And then they'll tell you, "Oh, we're going to give you a copy. This just says this, that, and the third." But you already didn't sign it. So you already didn't agree to whatever it is.
Why?
But you don't even know what you're agreeing to.
Can we stop fucking just because that's the
We
thing.
gotta
People,
stop
they
doing that.
did this recently. People think they can just. There's something, and I learned this in massage therapy school. That they would be like, the doctor when they come in. "Oh, we want to see you next week." They say, if you want to get another client, you're gonna tell them. "So next week we're gonna see you." You're not gonna say, "So if
Yep.
you feel like coming in next week,
That's
I
true.
really recommend for
Yeah.
your retwist or whatever or your massage." Nah, you talk they tell you to talk like a doctor. Like, "So I'll see you
Yeah.
next week for this and that," and then they go to
Yeah.
front, and then they already have in their mind that they have to kind of, or
Yep.
you have to go to the next appointment. No,
It's
you
true.
fucking
That
don't.
that definitely works too because I do it sometimes with clients when they come in and they get service. I'll say, you want to go ahead and book your next appointment, about 6 to 8 weeks out, and that way they coming back.
Right. And it
So,
works because and you're
yep,
doing what's right for them. You're not
yep.
hurting them. You're doing what's
No,
right for them.
not at all.
Who's
But
taking good
it's
care
all
of
the
their
same
doctor.
thing.
Right. But these
Yep.
people over here, they're like, they talking because they know that you're trying to get a case dismissed. They know that you're
Yeah.
trying to um get back to your kids. And they're like, we're gonna use that and we're gonna say
Right.
this so that we can get what we fucking want. We don't give a fuck
Right.
about this human being or
Mm-mm,
her
not at all.
fucking babies. Because
Nope.
they already
Not
have
at
a
all.
court, criminal court to fucking CPS pipeline as well.
Yep. Yep. So that's just basically what it was. Like they wanted to silence me up, and they had everybody in the courtroom. And I turned around and looked at everybody in the courtroom, the police officers and everything. I said, and I'm going to sue everybody that has something to do with this conspiracy. And you should have seen our people looking at me like,
What is
yo, this
she doing? Like we supposed to
this NIGG is crazy. Like, is she
be.
cool?
But tell me
But
what
they
happened.
knew. They could tell that I meant business too because of my aura, the way
And
I was dressed.
how he's acting. Why he acting like
Yeah.
this? Because
Yeah.
that's what they try to do, and that's even my ex-husband used to do. He used to be like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell them that
Yeah.
you are, that you are this, you are that, and say
Yeah.
all these things that even me, I would like be like, believe in him, and I'd be afraid. So let me act like, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then
It's true. It's
and
true
then
because they tried to say that
keep
I
you
needed
quiet.
a mental health
To silence you,
assessment.
right? And
Yeah.
then to silence you, and because
Yeah.
then you bottle it up, and then when they really start pushing them buttons, you might kind of act, but you was just like, yo, what?
Yeah.
And then really, what happens? They act like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, you feel me? And then people get to see
Yep.
the truth, like, whoa, why he acting all crazy? Like,
If all she was doing was
just
I
talking.
didn't curse, I didn't get loud or anything. I didn't disrespect him. All I was doing was simply reading, starting to read. I didn't even get a chance to. I was starting to read the so-called notice that you claim you did not get. And I asked him, I said, well, would you like a copy? Because I have copies on top of
No,
copies.
it's like, just
So I'm like, would you like a
no,
copy? He said,
no.
no, I need you to shut up. Or are we going through with the trial today? Or what, or you're going to take the public defender. So basically you giving me options. I don't have to agree to any of
No,
those.
no, 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 no. You work for me, dude, over there behind the counter, like, or
Yeah,
behind your little.
yeah,
And
yeah.
first of all, you shouldn't
And
have been.
see, had I know what I know now, though, had I
You wouldn't have
knew
been
what I
there.
know now, I would have asked him to recite his oath.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I heard he
Because
wouldn't
if he
have,
recite
he
his
don't have to
oath,
give it to you. Because I did it. I tried
look,
to do it, and I heard that they don't gotta give it to us. And I thought,
but they
but
do
it did
though.
for
But
them.
they do though.
But
But
they could
they
do it in
do.
writing. I heard that because I said that once, and then Malika was like, they can just give it to you in writing. They don't have to give it to you in court.
All right,
But I
well,
said it. But I said it too, and they got them scared. The lady on top, she stopped. She was like, she asked what your oath of office is, and then I
yeah.
walked out of that
I
courtroom. But
did tell him though. I did tell him that he did not have well, I did tell him that I needed a delegation of authority order for them to even talk to me. I did state that.
word,
He was red when I said that.
yeah,
That's when he wanted them to bring out of the courtroom.
like
So
this
yeah,
is
and I
very
told him,
real.
I looked him dead in his face as they're dragging me out of the courtroom. I told him, I will be coming back to sue you, sir.
Real
Respectfully.
talk. And then
Respectfully.
tell the people. Well, let me say it real quick.
Okay.
Hi, Mizonia Cruz. It says courts and doctors need us for sure.
For
Yeah,
sure.
because,
Yep.
because we ain't like. I mean, I'm just saying we're not like maybe the powers that should have not been because we say they not here no more. Like,
Right.
but we ain't like
Right.
them. We ain't trying to steal, kill, and destroy people.
No.
We don't give a
We just
if
want to
you're
be
not
left
trying to
alone.
steal, if you're not trying to if you and your children are not trying to steal, kill, and destroy from me, let
Right.
me love you like I love my neighbor as my motherfucking self. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what you believe. I don't care your belief system. I don't care
Yeah.
none of that shit. Like we here to
Yeah.
help. We here to be your doctor. We here to be your, but we don't. But and then we're here to courts. When I say courts, though, we're here to let y'all know. Make sure y'all supposed to oversee your public servants to make sure that and hold your public servants accountable when they do shit like this. So when
Right.
you saying they need us, yeah, they need us to over fucking see what the fuck they're doing because I don't fucking work for them. But if somebody else want to work for them, that's fine. But y'all must be working for the people. Y'all got to be working for the people. You feel
Right.
me? And yeah, I guess yeah, why not? Fuck, we could be up in there being lawyers and shit like yo. Do we need to read? That's what I'm saying. That's
It's
why.
really not nothing hard to do. All you have to do is be able to read to comprehend, not read just to read. A lot of us don't read to comprehend. That's the problem. So
Right. And so yeah, so that's the and we learning
yeah.
now. And
Even
then
if you
Bree
have to
said
read it 3, 4, 5 times. See, in school, see that's why I took my children out of school because school makes you think that if you can't read fluently like everybody else, then something is wrong, and that's not true. That's not true at all.
different
So
levels.
right. And so a lot of us think that we can't read or we think that we have a problem with reading. And a lot of times I'll see words and I didn't say the word before, but because I've never read the word before, I think that I don't know the word. And I'm like, damn, I knew that word the whole time. That's
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
And so it's just we gotta take our time. There ain't no fucking rush. Relax. And
That's
then
it. That's
and
it.
Bree
That's
said,
it.
"I'm new to your podcast. Thank you for sharing the light." I mean, we new here too. The first time,
Yep.
so welcome, Bree.
Yep.
But
Yep.
tell them what happened though. He said he was gonna hold you
Oh,
contempt
okay.
for how
So
many days? How many days?
after he put me in contempt of court, supposedly for 10 days, here in the state of Virginia, I think it's just Virginia. I'm not exactly sure, so don't quote me. But it's like this rule of 65% of time you have to do. So to the 10 days that he supposedly had held me into contempt of court, because that's what made me cry. I'm like, 10 days, fuck. My baby's without me for 10 days. But it was really
Yeah.
only supposed to be 5 days. Yeah, they was gonna be crazy. They actually was crazy anyway, from the little time that I was in there, which was 3 days. I was in there for
Mhm.
3 days. Yeah.
It
Um,
sounds like personal injury and damages, man.
Definitely, definitely. And it
This
was
country.
traumatic because I'm still thinking about my children. And my oldest is ready to be 14. She's never been without, like, with the children without me, like, overnight. There's never been one of those situations. So I'm
But
not
you
one of
had
those
your,
parents that
but
just leave my
your dad
children in
was.
the house.
But thank God you had your village. Your dad was.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank God for him. But they don't care about that. They don't care that you have children. They actually want to, and I already say enslave you. They actually want to put you behind, incarcerate you, so that they can incarcerate your children and put them into the foster systems.
And then everybody
So,
laughing at the bank,
yep,
but no more. That's why we have this conversation. It's not happening no more. Y'all got to know what's
right,
going on. There's too because
correct,
me sharing this, we've been sharing this, and I got sisters calling me like, "Yo, somebody." I got in an altercation with somebody, and now the Commonwealth want to sue me. The person don't even want to sue me, and then they
right,
got CPS involved, and it had
yeah.
nothing to do with the baby. It was just that, oh shit.
It's a money thing.
It's
It's
a
all
money
about the
thing. It's
muda.
all money. People be like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
know some great foster parents and all that." I didn't fucking ask you. They're violating me. My kid is not a ward of the state. That
yeah,
like that is for children who don't have parents.
right.
That is for children
Not
who
children that have parents and you want to
can't
separate
families.
them.
These are wards of, like they have to
So let me
have this.
ask you this. So it's
Yeah.
okay. So it's not okay for them to separate the children at the border, but it's okay for them to continuously separate us from our children every day. I mean, not being rude or anything, but the things that the people were dealing with at the border, being separated from their children, we deal with that every day
Right.
here,
Right.
as supposed to be citizens of this place.
Or
So at
people
the end of the day, it's like
who
you
live in
want us
here.
to feel bad for people coming from a different place, but we have to start at home first. We have to start at home first. And there's a lot that we have to take care at home. We got to put our foot down and
And
let
that
them
wouldn't
know.
happen. That wouldn't if they would just that wouldn't happen at the border if they
Yeah,
just pay attention to the motherfucking agencies right fucking here.
that's it.
Let's stop
They
acting like
wouldn't have
nobody knows what
time.
the fuck is going on. They know what the fuck is going on, but no one's doing anything. As long as no one's, that's
Yep.
what we got to speak their language.
Yeah.
Talking and
Yeah.
putting your picket signs up ain't gonna
Yeah.
do shit.
It ain't gonna do nothing. They
It's
laugh at us when we
paperwork.
do that. They be
Paperwork.
tripping. They be tripping off us when we do that. Black lives matter. Girl,
Paperwork.
bro.
Paper fucking work.
Yep.
That is
That's
how
it.
you do it. Just
Yep.
paperwork. That's
Yep.
how you speak their language. It's
Right.
paperwork. And so
And the
if
same
y'all
way that y'all go and do y'all investigations on who your baby daddy's sleeping with or who hating on you, you need to do the same thing. Do investigations on your life, things that behind me is a whole board. When I was dealing with the court cases and stuff like that, I came in like I was going to work. Okay, this was a real job for me. at some point. Okay,
Because
so
you
yeah,
made a decision. You made a decision that you wanted to be free, that you weren't going to let them violate you
right,
and take
right,
a plea or, because that's what I'm saying. It's not like plea for fucking what? I didn't do
yeah.
shit.
I didn't do anything, and that's what I
And I
kept
didn't do
saying.
nothing. That's the thing about the injured party. That's
Yeah,
why I said in my poem it was like talking about there ain't no injured party,
no
ain't no
engine party.
plaintiff. There has to be there has to be a human person
Yep, that's the due process.
that was injured.
That's part of the due process. Yes, ma'am.
If there is no human being that
There is
was
no.
injured, then there is no motherfucking case.
It's
They
nothing.
need you to
That's
be
it.
there
That's it.
to get you to everything you say
Yep.
shall and will be used against you. They
Yep.
need you to start talking so
Yep.
that they have a reason for you to be there and everybody got a reason to get fucking paid.
Yep. And if you never say nothing, then they never have anything to use against you.
Yeah, I don't consent to. Is there any paperwork? That's what you
I
ask.
don't
Like
consent. I don't
I don't
understand.
consent. Yeah, and if anything, is there any paperwork for any invitation? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I need to read. I need time to read what the fuck you trying to talk to me about. Like you
And
said, the
where's the original
invitation.
incident report?
It's like
Where's the original incident report? If they can't give you original incident report, which is supposed to have the person that's accusing you, and they won't have the original incident report, they will try to give you is the paperwork that the police officer filled out. No, the police officer is part of the corporation. It's part of the fictitious
don't fucking sign
entity.
shit. Don't
No, and
sign
don't
nothing.
sign nothing. All that
Yesterday, the
BC.
police came near me.
Yeah.
They said, "Let me get your ID."
No.
I didn't even
ID.
answer
What
him.
ID?
I
What
didn't
ID?
answer him. That's why you got to.
Yeah.
That's why you can master your mind. That's why it's all about
Yeah.
master your mind and psychological warfare, and stop being scared. There's nothing to be scared of. Just breathe.
It's really nothing to be scared of because for real, what
Is
I've
there anything I'm
realized,
doing illegal here? Do you
no,
have
but
any
they don't
paperwork?
even know the laws. They don't even know the
Yo,
laws.
the dude walked away. He was
Yeah.
scared. I was like,
Yeah.
"Is there any? I'm doing something illegal here? Am I doing anything illegal?" Well, you're doing this, and you gotta talk to your probation officer. And I said, do you have any paperwork to show me that says I have to do anything you're telling me to do here?
Right.
I said, well, let me just warn because I had to let him know because that's every time I've done this. So this is a good note.
Yeah.
Every time I've done this, these people get shook and they walk the fuck away from me. And that's exactly what happened. This is
Right.
the second time it happened. Or they get nice to me. I say,
Uh-huh.
if you do anything that is a breach of your duty, I will have
Right.
to file a claim for personal injury and damages. And I don't want that to happen. I really just want to just go about my life with peace. And I really talk really nice and
Yeah.
kind. Right now I'm talking Mama Bear because
Yeah.
this is serious
And for
shit.
anybody that don't know what their contract is, or like if they do anything to breach their contract, basically it's their oath. You their oath. Read the oath so that you can be familiar with the oath that they had to take.
Right. And you
And
don't
then,
gotta be because sometimes you watch on YouTube a bunch of people talking so much shit.
yeah,
You don't
no.
gotta
No.
just
But you
get
do
the
want to be brief
understanding.
on their oath though. You want to know
Then
what the
yeah,
oath
you
says.
want to read it because
Yeah.
like you said, you want to read this stuff and just
Yeah.
get a knowing. Like she said,
Yeah.
comprehending. She said it
Yeah.
9 times. You got to comprehend.
You
You
have
have to
to.
know the law. When you know the truth will set your mind free.
Right.
You can walk in your authority. So
Yeah.
then they're like I said, the dude was like, I need your ID. I need you to do this. You need to move. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to get out of here. I'm like,
Why was he
um,
so aggressive?
because that's what they're used to is like, let me just scare you and you're just gonna do what I say because I'm a big man and I say and people do what I do because that's what
He's
you
a
see.
weak man.
Bad boy,
He
what
was
you gonna
weak.
do?
He
I
was
said,
weak. I can tell he was weak.
I'm like, what's your
He,
name? But you have to be, but that's the thing, you gotta be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Not you fucking violating me. You can't do all that shit. You
yeah.
that's what they
Yeah.
expect. You be like, excuse me. If you have to take a moment, you gotta talk fast. Cause that's what happened with me. When shit is happening to me and I got my kid, when I had my baby with me, I had my kids with me, I'm like, everybody always thanks me. Wow, you're very courteous. You're very courteous. You're very kind. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Everyone thanks me because
Yeah.
they expecting me to be I don't know what I used to believe. What
Yeah.
like I said, my ex used to be like, they're gonna do it, and
Yeah.
they're gonna do this to you because you're a black woman, and they're gonna believe me because I'm light, and it's like, and I would be like, oh my god, you're right. You know what I mean? I should just. But
I'm
no,
working on that too, though. I'm working on that. That's
I'm
probably the only thing that I regret that day that they locked me up in court was as they're dragging me out of the courtroom. I did get loud and say what I had to say to him. I could have just said like in a calm voice, like you said. But I mean, in the time of the moment, you don't know how you gonna react. So
no, and that's what I
yeah,
said. Be free of
yeah,
the shame or any guilt
yeah,
because we are learning on the motherfucking job training right
yeah.
now.
Right, right, right.
And it's
Okay.
not right that we got to learn on the fucking job. That's why we're doing this because even me at the beginning, what happened to me, I kind of went off the first time I went to court. I went off the first time.
Mm,
I went in the courtroom. It was like it was so fucking dark. It was when I went to go in DCFS, California. I go
okay.
into the court and I was with, that girl.
Uh huh.
Um, but I go in and they didn't let her come in with me.
Hmm.
Why wouldn't you let family come with me?
Right.
So anyway, I go in the first time I didn't speak at all. The public pretender was like, don't talk, don't talk, don't say anything, don't like just don't say it because they want to. You feel me? And I
Right.
didn't. I just cried like a bitch. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
like because what she was saying, it was like there's no reason to keep the baby from me,
Right.
and I have. I'm already engorged. It's already been 3 days. I was out of jail the day before, 2 days before that. Like, so it's like, why wouldn't you give me my baby? It even says on the report there's no signs of abuse. There's no signs of neglect of her or any of. They all saw the other children. No signs of neglect or abuse for any of the other children. It just looks. They even said, oh, the ex husband said that the allegations that she said against their daughter is that he thought that this says this in the paperwork. He thought that she was her oldest daughter because they have the same stature. It says it in the motherfucking paperwork. So I've been standing on truth since day one. And he even says, let's all these agents know, and it's all in the thing. What she said is not a fucking lie. I thought my daughter was her any fucking way.
So because
So
he thought that, that makes it okay.
they're not no, because this is the reason. They want fucking money. They don't give a fuck
Oh,
about
okay.
the
Okay.
safety of the children. They don't give
Okay.
a fuck about the
Yeah.
children. And but that's why we're saying those people no more. We're holding them accountable. But the other
Right.
people who want to be public servants and want to do
Right.
their job and want to serve the people, and we welcome you. Thank you for doing your job. Because there were some people there who were like the other probation so-called officer that should never been appointed or whatever. He was
Right.
mad cool, like you said, of your public pretender who was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
all right." There's
Hmm.
some cool people out there, y'all. So if
Yeah.
y'all just do the best you can, no guilt, no shame, like the best you can in seeking to get free. Spirit, your divine guide is going to teach you and show you every step of the way what you could have done better. Excuse me,
That's
guys,
true.
and what
That's
you
true.
could do better next time. And so that's what happened. I went in
Yep.
there and they were like, "Sit down." I was like, my spirit at the time, I didn't know how to talk to them or nothing. My spirit at the time was just like, "This is not right. Get the fuck out." It was so hot on me that it
Yeah.
was like, "Get the fuck out of this room." I was like,
Right.
I was standing. They're like, "Sit down," and I was like, what's happening? I'm here like what's going. She's like, sit down. And then, okay, I'm not giving your baby back. I'm like, are you threatening me? I feel under
Right.
threat, duress, and I feel like I'm under threat. I'm under duress. I'm under duress. I was so scared,
Yeah.
honestly. And and I walked out. And then the public pretender came and was like, go back. You have to go back in there. They're doing the Ferrera hearing. Come back in. Come back in. I'm like, no. I was like, I fired you. And then she's like, they won't allow me. We have to do a hearing to see who's gonna represent. If you can represent yourself. I said, no, you can quit. I started yelling at her. I'm like, you can quit, but you're not quitting. And I was like, and I fired you. No, this is not right. I'm here to get my baby. And I'm like going off, but in the room, she's like, go in there. I'm like, I'm not going in there. They won't even let my family go in there. She's like,
Right.
you said she was your attorney. Like, shoot, they're just making shit up. And so they're gaslighting the fuck out of me. I'm 6 weeks postpartum.
Yep.
Like,
That's
personal
crazy.
injury and damages. Like, and that's the thing. Like, they don't care. They're psychopaths. They have no empathy. They don't care about those types of people do not care about human beings. That's why we have to bring this to light. They don't
Yeah.
care about humans. They don't
Nope.
care about our babies. And so it's not just my baby. I got my baby back and all that. And but it's not just that. There's so many women that we share this story that have had that didn't do nothing wrong. And they have their babies still, and babies that have been adopted already. And they violate them from the jump because they should never that they had no jurisdiction over that child from the jump.
From the
And
beginning.
because of the psychological warfare, because of the fear, the threat, duress, court, they're in the courtroom just laughing like they
Yeah.
don't care. they just be taking it's human trafficking. And it's
Yep.
not okay. And it has to stop. And then everybody wants to run and talk about the border,
Yeah,
like you
that's true.
said.
And it's
It
all
needs to
tied
stop.
in together. Like even like I pay attention to like the street signs, like the speedometers and the speed signs and stuff. They made all of that stuff their system, for their system in particular. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason I say that is because the night in question, when they so called pulled me, which they had no right to, because like you said, I was moving in my own private capacity.
You didn't have
Um,
no passengers. You weren't doing a commercial vehicle.
no,
You have a according to the
no,
Constitution, you have a right to travel, and there
yes,
was no emergency.
yeah,
So
none,
they violated
none.
you because they had no
That was
fucking
that
emergency
was a felony actually for him to even turn his lights on, his emergency lights on to
with
stop.
no fucking emergency.
Yeah, yeah. But I know all of that now, of course. And when he jumped out of the car to approach me, I was supposed to ask him for a delegation of authority order for him to speak with me. If he did not have that, then I was supposed to leave. But it is what it is. But I really know that their whole system is created for them to be able to get money because the bridge that I was coming across, it went from 55 to 45 to 35 really, really quickly without you really even knowing. You're not paying attention to the signs. And when I say he was right there at the end of the bridge waiting for a car, and then when I came past, immediately he threw the lights on. Now, I don't know what
No
car he was waiting
emergency.
for. I was the only car out there.
No emergency.
No emergency at
There
all.
was no emergency, no accident. Nobody was getting hurt.
And
They don't
honestly,
give a
the
fuck
old
how
me
fast you're
would have
going.
made him follow me somewhere. But where I was going, I didn't really know if anything was open. And then, like I said, it was at nighttime. And I was just thinking about really, and I was on the phone with someone anyway, so I felt a little safe. And I was like, yeah, a speed trap, exactly. And I was thinking to myself, like, I just want to get home. I just want to get home. That's it. I just want to get home. So I was doing whatever I had to do to get home. You know what I mean? And, with the warrant being 254 days old that I had no knowledge of, the way that those officers, and I have everything on camera as well, the whole situation. Well, I have one body camera raw footage, and then the other body camera has been tampered with. So they're tampering with evidence, and they think that we supposed, and that's the things that they do to people, and they want you to come to court and consent to this and sign this and sign that, but they're not playing fair either. So why would you go in that courtroom and set yourself up? Why would you do that?
No. And there's no
Don't.
reason because all you got to do is file a claim.
That's it.
As
That's
thank
it.
you, lawful living. They told us SF
That's it.
95.
That's it.
Form SF 95. File a claim against them for violating
Right.
your
But y'all
right.
definitely need to tap into lawful living because I'm telling you, you
So
you
I mean,
just
I
don't
got
know.
I got a few more to write. I got a few more to write, but I got a
Yeah.
couple that's just pending right now. So
Right.
fuck
Right. Let them cook. Let them cook.
that.
Let them cook.
No, no
Let them
problem.
cook.
Because this the thing is, we're doing what's right. We're doing what's lawful. We're
Yeah.
doing we're doing we're playing by the rules.
Right.
And if you play by the rules, the truth, and you stand on the truth, which is
Yeah.
the truth, you
Yeah.
can't trump truth. Like the truth will set us free. And so
Yeah.
that's what we do. We play by the rules and we file a claim for personal injury and damages. That's
Yep.
it. And if
Yep.
that's what we were kind when we were like, yo, just give me my kids, let me go.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't want to do that. They were like, no, we're
Yeah.
gonna keep it. We're gonna keep building it, like keep building a case against
That
ourselves
means that they
because
really need some money though. They really, really need some money because you'll see like certain places you might have like Richmond, for instance. Richmond. They they got my notices. They never gave me a problem, with the notices. I mean, no judge. I went in front of three judges. The first one, she didn't know. She said she didn't know. But the two copper color judges, neither one of them played with me. Neither one of
it
them
was
played with
like,
me.
yo,
They dismissed those cases so quick. They didn't say why they dismissed them, but I have an idea.
well, I can say this. Let's say
Mhm.
that let me go because you was walking in truth.
Right,
That's the truth. You was walking
right.
in truth. So that's what we know, and that When I move, it's an earthquake
Yep.
rumble.
Yeah,
Walls
okay.
break them walls like Jericho crumble. Jericho,
Okay.
we break what?
Yeah.
Real talk. Jericho walls come down because we
Yep.
standing on truth. We taking care of humanity. We
Yep.
loving our babies. We
Yep.
going to work. We're providing. We're protecting. We're doing what's right.
Thank
We
you, Keisha.
lawful.
Well, Miss Cruz, can you see her comments over that side?
All right. Okay. I see them coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Kiagu. Thank
Yeah.
y'all. And then Miona, what you say? Awesome, awesome ladies.
Yeah.
Like
She
y'all
said,
are super dope for standing and representing yourselves and not giving up. Beautiful. Love copper
we're not
color.
just representing ourselves though. I call her Keita because I know her personally.
Oh,
But we're
okay.
not just representing ourselves. We represent all of us. Like, so we represent your son, your daughter, my daughters, her children, her daughters, her sons. And we want our children to know that you don't have to, man. And okay, so we want our kids to know that you don't have to go through any of this stuff. And the reason why that is so big to me, and I knew that this was where I'm supposed to be at this moment, because at first I used to be like, why me, why me? But God said, why not you? Why not you? Because I sat in that courtroom one time in Richmond, in the Marsh courtroom, and every young man that was called, his name was called to stand up in that triangle, right? In that triangle that they have, we that's another live we're gonna talk about, right? They were all babies, and I mean, like, just turned 18.
Wow.
I mean, you could tell that they were babies.
Wow.
I could see it. I said, man, and all
That's
you
why
keep
I'm
saying is
glad.
the judge. You know, the judge that they end up getting, he was a good judge, but it's still the system. And he still
Wow.
has a job to do as well, right? And all I kept thinking to myself, like, damn, I wish I had some cards on me because I would definitely give all these brothers my card real quick and tell them to text me so that I can send them the link to lawful living. Like, or, you
Right?
know, the link to get
Yeah,
on
and give them
the
that
classes
direction
and
on like
stuff.
what to expect because everybody's always like when I be giving links to them, they be like, "So are these attorneys? Are these?" I'm like, "Yo, we getting free. We
But that's
getting
the thing.
free."
We do have former attorneys that, you know, that do participate in the class. You just don't know what you
Right,
go get. But one
right,
thing
right.
about it is I'm not gonna trick you up. I'm not gonna set you up for failure. So, and I know Jess not gonna set you up for failure. We don't have a reason to set anybody up for
We
failure. We're actually
mamas.
here so you would know that it's people out here that can really help you. Like,
Mhm,
literally. Yeah.
mhm.
Like, and for the price that you're gonna pay for the fines, the court fines and the lawyers and things
Way
like that,
lower than that shit.
way lower than that. Way lower than that. And
And
they're
this,
gonna teach you what to do for yourself.
and that's the thing is that you really don't have to pay them at all. It's just
No.
that a lot of us don't do anything until
Mhm.
it's a crisis. So
Yep.
then when it's a crisis and you need something quick,
Right.
of
Right.
course you're going to have to pay for the time and the energy
A
to get
pro.
what you
Yeah,
need and
pro.
the
Yep.
comprehend yeah, so that you
Yep.
can focus on programming and focus on the deprogramming and focus on connecting with your power
Yep.
so
Yep.
then the other people can kind of like help you piggyback, hold your hand a little bit, and show you this. You're gonna have to cough up something.
Yep.
You're gonna
Yep.
cough it up anyways,
Yep.
way more. So,
Yep.
if you're just like, yo, it's nothing, no crisis going on. You can literally go to get everything done for free at lawfulliving.com as well for freedomfromgovernment.com. They got the
Yep.
classes at your own pace.
And I promise
And-
you, if you stand in your truth and you don't fold, you will see something happen because I sat in that jail for 3 days and I took notes after notes. I mean, when I say I took notes from booking, how they handled me at booking, and which it wasn't bad at all. It was actually better than any place I've ever been, actually. I took those notes down. I took down if they made me take off my headpiece. I took down notes of the meals that I did not eat because I don't eat that mess. Okay.
Right.
I
And,
I
and
even
then-
took down notes of when I asked for fresh water and one of the officers told me to drink the water over top of the toilet.
right. And I just
But you
want
know,
y'all to
God
know
was
though.
with me though. God was with me because right after he told me to take
Oh
that water
yeah.
over the toilet, I didn't even ask another one. I actually sat down and just started taking notes. And Officer Brooks, excuse me, Officer Brooks, I never forget him.
Shout out Officer Brooks.
Shout out Officer Brooks. I told him before I left too. I said, "You stay who you are." That man brought me 2 big cups of water, fresh cold water. Even though I don't drink cold water, But the fact that I had woke up, I felt like they tried to do something to me in that cell that I was in because it got so hot, Jess. In the middle of the night at like 5:30 in the morning, it got so hot. And the only reason I know the time is because the cell that I was in, I could see the clock and I could see their computer. So I knew the time was right. But when I say it got so hot in there to the point where the lady that was in there with me, she even said it. She said, it's hot in here. And it's never hot in here. They keep the air on like they do at the hospital. Why was it hot in that cell?
Right. They didn't let me around
Okay.
nobody. I was by myself. They would not let me. Every time these women were by them, like out there doing everything, I was by
Yeah.
myself, and they did not let me out. When they went back in their room, then they let me out. And
Okay.
so,
But I
only
felt like they really did try to do something. Like they tried to dehydrate me, because I had like a UTI that I was dealing with at the time too. So they didn't give me the medications that I was supposed to have had either. That's malpractice, but and neglect.
right. Same
So
with
I
me.
took
I
down
said, "Can
all
I
of
get a
those
pump?"
notes.
I said, "Can I get a pump?" In California, they gave me a pump. In Rhode Island, they didn't have a pump, and I was
They said
like,
they
"My,"
didn't have a pump. They said
and
they
I
didn't
was
have a pump. They let me go take a shower and gave me the little cups that they give you the water and
right,
let me, do it
right, and
myself
a
or
hot
whatever.
cloth and all this
Yeah.
bullshit, and I'm
Yep.
like, writing that down. I'm like, I still gotta put my
Yeah.
claim against y'all. But
Yeah.
they took notes that I wasn't eating because I was like, I'm not eating that.
Yeah. They took notes for that too. They took notes that I didn't eat. But I will tell you, even though I didn't eat, I drank my water and I drank my breast milk because that's all I
right,
needed. You know what I mean? And it did what
right,
I needed it to do. I'm not even gonna
right.
hold you. The breast milk, if you don't have anything to eat and you still got milk coming
Yo,
out
that
that breast,
pump
you need to drink that. You
in
need to drink.
California though, I drank it in California. I had a lot, and I mean, I
Uh-huh.
can't. My skin was like baby soft. I was like, okay. But
Yep.
but in Rhode Island, no, I just was in pain and I was cold and it was
Yeah.
bad. And
Yeah, you
but
weren't thinking then though. You weren't thinking about it. That's what that was.
oh,
You
I
weren't
mean,
thinking to
no,
drink.
I don't, I couldn't, I didn't know how to. It hurt so much. I don't know how to do it. Like I don't know how to do
Yeah.
that. Like so, but in
Yeah.
California, they had the little,
Yeah.
so I
The
was
hand
able to
pump.
use it. So every time I got it, they
Yeah.
didn't. They say you supposed to dump it. I was like, oh, I don't drink that shit.
I'll never forget. It was another officer. I don't know her name though, but she was really nice too. She came to me at like 11 a.m. and she was like, "You getting out tomorrow?" Which was on a Saturday, which was November the 23rd. She was like, "You getting out tomorrow at 9 o'clock?" The judge changed his mind. He sent over some more paperwork. He changed his mind. I was like, okay. And I remember telling myself, make sure you get that paperwork. Make sure you get that paperwork.
Right,
I mean, I collected everything. Anything that had the entity that y'all were taking to court stating that it was me, I want it. I want it
right,
for my personal files because we allowed them to, well, we used to allow them to just do whatever they wanted to do, give us whatever they want to give us. No, I want everything. I got a notebook. Matter of fact, here it go right here. I'm gonna show y'all. I have a binder as if, and it don't take long to fill up either. But this is
right.
my binder.
They need that paperwork to get paid, so it's so
Yeah,
easy.
and I need it too. Look, and I need it too to get paid. So this is
Right,
my
and then
paperwork. You see how
yeah,
thick that is?
yeah. I got mine over here too.
Yeah.
Thick, thick.
We're not playing no games with these people. This is not a video game. Hey,
No,
this is not a
yeah,
video game. And we won't
no.
allow them because not trying to be funny. I know a lot of parents, they like, well, just go ahead and get it behind you. Because I talk to people all the time and they be like, just go ahead and get it behind you. But my thing is just like your children are watching YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and things like that, they watching YouTube. So if they see you go hard when it come down to your man, they see you go hard when it come down to your woman, they see you ready to fight your cousins, they see you don't take BS from nobody else around you, but then they watch you take BS. You go oh so hard, but as soon as the police around, you soft. You yes sir, yes master. Them kids watching that shit too.
Fear God and keep, like it says in the so-called Bible that they was able to control us for so many years.
Right.
They mix a lot of lies with a little bit of truth. But it says fear God and keep the commandments. That's what the fuck it's talking about. Because the only fucking
Yep.
thing they're doing is commodifying people and commodifying things that God gave us for free, our birthright. They're
That's it.
commodifying our birthright, and they want us to, and using these fake ass laws that are for the public servants,
Yep.
not for us. And they're
Nope.
saying, fear God, vermin, and keep his commandments, or else. And people are
Right.
scared of hell or scared of
Like or else
anything.
what? Or
else
else
they
what?
gonna lock,
And
or
you know
else
the
they
thing
might lock
about it
you up.
is, if you ever notice the documents that they get people to sign that you so called have to do this and you have to do that, or else, it never has the or else on there. Have you ever noticed that? It never has the or else. So like the what I'm saying is when they locked me up in court that day, he came back with a little short piece of paper about this size. And he said, I have to give this to you. And when he gave it to me, I looked at it after he left, of course, because I didn't even look at him. I treated him like he was a peasant. Um, so I looked at it and it said court date on 12/19. And if you don't show up to court, that we will take further actions. Like this emoji right here. Cause
They
what
try to coerce you. They try to coerce you and threaten
right.
and scare you to make you do something
Yeah,
against your will. But
right.
guess what? That's psychological warfare. And guess what?
Yeah,
We got nothing to fear because we read your rules and we see that that's a fucking lie.
yeah.
I don't gotta go because you don't got the record that reflects.
Authority.
Yeah, you
You
don't have the
don't have the
authority,
authority.
and you don't have the record that reflects that I am the class of person in which you
Person.
like, that I
Yep.
am that person,
Yep.
that I am
Yep.
was working, that was in my capacity at the time as the so-called statute is being applied. So
Right.
you're misapplying the statute.
Right.
You're misapplying the code. It
And
doesn't.
where's
It's
the
not.
contract? If you can show me the contract that I signed that states that I consent and agree to this, that, and third, then we can talk turkey.
That
But
you even signed up to work
no,
for the administration, and that you
I
even have a
never.
clock in or clock
I
out.
never signed anything. Now,
So that's
whatever
where it
the
goes.
parents that I have did in their private capacity,
And so then
I
what
have
she
nothing to do with that. I'm a minor.
And so they said about but they also said, okay, so then they said on the document that, or they're going to take further action. So basically, they're trying to force labor on you. Like
Yeah.
you owe a debt. You got to go
Right.
there. So that's
Right.
peonage. So that's, I know
Right.
we never even brought up the word yet, but that was
Yeah.
peonage. So for
Right.
them to lock me up or else sign the paper or we lock you up. And that's what they did to me. Sign
Yeah.
or shut the fuck up or we
Yeah.
lock you up or
Yeah.
do this or go to court, we lock you up. So you're
Yep.
telling us, so we gotta pay back some fucking debt, and we're not even criminals. You don't even. I mean, you don't even have nothing. That's You're not even.
Yeah.
There's no crime. Like there's nothing happening. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that you're gonna force us into labor. You're gonna
Yep.
force us to go to work. You're gonna force us to pay off some type of fucking debt
Yep.
for no fucking reason.
Right. And you go
And,
force me to step into a courtroom so that you can get paid.
and you want me, and you want me to, it's this a wrong generation.
No.
You ain't about to hang me up on no fucking, and you ain't about to take
Nope.
nobody's, and you ain't
Nope.
about to separate me from. I'm gonna be
Nope.
peaceful right here, and you gonna do your fucking job, and
Yep.
I'm
That's
going
what you
to
go
send
do.
a notice, and that's what it was. We both sent notice of peonage,
Yep.
and then also a claim for motherfucking personal injury and damages because you
Right.
were trying to force labor on me, and according to the misidentified against the government record and subjecting me to motherfucking peonage.
Yeah.
That is against your fucking rules. We're telling your insurance agency what the fuck you're doing. Y'all got
Yeah.
whether wait. But we want to also make it clear.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are doing this. Lawful living has taught us this, that some people are doing this like they're incompetent, that they didn't even read their rules, they don't even know the oath they fucking took. Some of
Right.
them are just negligent, they made a motherfucking mistake. But then others are in willful criminality. They're willfully doing these things on purpose, knowing what they're doing. And we're
Right.
saying, oh, wait, whoa. Enough is enough. We gotta stop, pump the motherfucking brakes right now because we
Right.
have kids that are gonna live in this world, and you guys are making it very fucking hard for
Right.
us to do what we move how we're
Right.
supposed to move, which is in our birthright. Like you
Yep.
was on your way to work. You're over here trying to move in your purpose and heal and help your people, help your babies, and make money to
Yeah.
and use your gifts and your talents. And they're saying, no, come to our job.
Yep.
I got shit to do. And I ain't even trying to steal, kill, and destroy you and your fucking family. Go to
Right.
work, enjoy your fucking life, and let me go to work and enjoy my fucking life and family. That's all we saying.
Right. That's it. And no way, shape, form, or fashion is this legal advice at all. This is for educational purposes only. I just want to point that
Real
out.
talk.
And jokes and giggles. If you know, if you
Real
need a joke
talk.
for today.
Real talk.
Just to throw that out there for you two. You know what
But
I
real
mean? So
talk.
yeah.
And real talk. This is and And that's
Yeah,
how, and y'all know, because this is law, because on real talk, this is lawful living. We
that's it.
living the law. This is just us
Right,
living the law. We're talking
right,
about living the law.
right.
We ain't talking about
Because we
doing
were
some
born free.
legal process, that administrative
Yeah,
process. This is not a process. It's just
no,
a life that you
that's
live.
it.
It's
That's it.
righteousness,
Yep,
taking care of the babies,
that's
and,
it.
and
And
providing protection
that
for them.
goes again, like taking care of babies. That make me think about everything that they try to do is all like stemming from the war that they have on the children. Anyway, it's a war on children. We know that. So at the end of the day, that's their main objective is to, if they can't snatch you away from your children or snatch your children away from you, then they'll try to make it where though they're stressing you out so that you can't be at your full capacity when dealing with your children. So
Right.
they want to stress you out. They want to have you running back and forth to court. They want to have you working 10, 12 hours at work. And, everything. The whole system is designed so that you can't be at your full capacity taking care of your legacies.
Right. And so that's why, have created the bornfreemovement.com, so that that we can end these cycles of survival. And
Right.
because it seems like they got a bunch of money to be paying these people, public pretenders and all that. And they
Yep.
got all this fucking money to pay the fucking CPS workers and all that. But we see the failing. They spend 30 billion a year on CPS, 30 billion, and they know it's failing.
Right.
Four trillion a year. Like, even, it's close. It's 4 trillion, and there's
Mhm.
even billions, but trillion is for the public services. But there's
Mhm.
fucking homeless people on the motherfucking street. What are you talking about? And then on top of that, oh baby girl, are you okay? And then on top of that, let me put on this light real quick because it's getting dark, and I'm gonna give this baby something real quick.
It's cool. And then
Oh,
on top of that, piggybacking off of what she was saying about the homeless people that's on the street, they doing something with the homeless people too. Like if you're homeless and they see you sleeping on the street, they're locking you up and taking you into a mental health facility and things like that. So now not only are they kidnapping us and our children, they kidnapping the homeless people that can live free on the land.
do
The
you
people
know,
not even homeless for real. These people,
y'all?
most of them choose to live free on the land the way that they're living.
And let me tell you this, y'all can look up right now Zachary Kuna, the prosecution attorney that
Mhm.
it's been trying to was trying to prosecute me, but he's working on writing a check to that's what he's working on right now when it comes to me. But if you look up Rhode Island, the state of Rhode Island, for the CPS, they're being investigated by the United States attorneys, which is Zachary Kuna's department, whatever.
Mhm.
They're being investigated right now because they got the CPS are putting children in in these mental hospitals and
Yep.
just leaving them there. And there's been
Yep.
and the news got them on the news. You can look it up.
She,
WPRI,
she just said they probably testing on them. Well,
Rhode
on the
Island
homeless people
CPS.
and the kids. Yeah.
They
Yep.
said there have been complaints because these children have been left in the mental hospital for over a year, just there. Look it up. It's on there. I'll post it on my page too on thebornfreemovement.com, because this is
Mhm.
they're being negligent. So y'all got a bunch of money to be doing all this. Let me tell you something. And
Right.
you got a bunch of technology, right? So let's
Right.
do this year. We're saying policy change, reallocate that money so that we can have self-sustainable living arrangements for families and people, and the Department of Children, Youth and Families and all this public assistance. We're saying reform it, restructure it, and reallocate that money.
Right.
You ask the mamas. We can help you out, and we
Yeah.
can gonna give self-sustainable solutions,
Right.
holistic healing resources,
Right.
and we can use the technology. Because my grandmother talks about how she used to live on this land that she got, and also humanities. I got airland, I got family airland, so we want to
Mhm.
create a place for families in crisis situations,
Yeah.
self-sustainable shelters. But she just talks about how they had so much money, or so much food they just throw out to chickens. They had
Right.
so much. They made so much off their land that their great grandfather, he was a savvy businessman. He
Right.
made money off his land. So we're saying, but that she said that she moved up to the north. All the kids moved up to the north, and so that land is just sitting there. And that's why I said, "Yo, I'll use it. Don't worry,
Yeah.
and I'll do something with it." Because they were like, "We don't want to be out in the sun all day." Well, that's why we saying, "Yo, all that technology, y'all over here making phones and cars and shit. Get the
Yep.
motherfucking robots on the motherfucking field. We gonna make
Yep.
America fucking healthy again as well with that
Right.
shit, and we can
Right.
help build self-sustainable homes for people,
Yep.
self-sustainable property, income properties, because mothers should not be separated from,
At all.
and then that's gonna save so much fucking money. What the fuck you
Yep.
giving money to a fucking foster?
Yeah.
We anyways, and there's no fucking need. They got parents. These people are in cycles of dependency or cycles of poverty, design, like the system design,
Yep.
when all they just really need is a more self-sustainable lifestyle.
That's
And,
it.
and that is our birthright, because God gave us food, shelter, water
Yeah.
for free. The shelter comes from the
Yep.
trees. You can make beautiful homes out of out of earth, out of the
That's,
rammed earth, out of
that's
you can
it.
use. We know all
Yep.
this stuff is for free. We already
We've
know
been
that.
doing this since the beginning of the time.
So we're
We
saying,
just we have to get out of being conformed into a fictitious lifestyle that somebody created to tell you that you had in order for you to be lavish, live lavish, you have to live a certain lifestyle.
oh no, no. If in order for you to live that way, you must
Mhm.
bow down to the
Yeah.
government. You must
Yep.
work for the government. You must pay
Yep.
your
Yep.
tithes and your taxes to the
Yep.
government for you
Yep.
to have food, shelter, water. You must
Right.
worship this God. You must bow down to this God. You must keep this God's commandments. Period. No, we're saying that's the sin we was born in. Enough
Right.
is enough. Y'all can, there's enough money to go around. Y'all can get paid. Calm the motherfucker down. There's
Calm
enough
down.
resources to go around.
Right.
Just stop it. Let's stop playing like, and you got people like running around like chickens with their head off, and then they're neglecting
Yeah.
the kids, and they don't realize why their kids are, yo, I
Okay.
get it.
Okay.
It didn't. We are. There's the case study. Look at your grandmother and your grandmother before you. I mean, I'm in my 30s, so look at them, and did it fucking work? It didn't work. So now this generation saying, "Yo, it didn't work. Yo, let's fucking fix this." And now we seeing y'all got technology too. Let's go. We can get this done quick and easy. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
Yeah.
go. 2025. Let's
Yep.
go. We building a better future for the babies. We're living self-sustainably. We're living in peace. We're living in
Yep.
unity. We're living in
Yep.
harmony. None of that bullshit
And we
that they're
bring
doing.
the village back. We're bringing the villages back.
Yes,
Ain't
villages
no
are
more.
already
Don't say nothing to my child, cause I'm gonna
and
say something to
wait,
your child. I'm
and
gonna say
and,
something to your child.
and
If
the
I have
villages
to, I
though.
will. Like
The
so.
villages, we don't need no LL motherfucking C's. We don't need no
No.
501C's. We don't need no motherfucking trust. We don't. What the fuck?
Somebody asked me
What
about an
are
LLC the
we
other
doing?
day, and I said I don't have an LLC. Why?
We don't
Why?
need
Why
we
do I
need it.
need an LLC? I'm an independent contractor. Like,
God
why would
gave
I
you
need?
that gift. God gave you that
Right?
gift.
Why would I need that? See, that's what school did. They tell you to chase your dreams, right? Because I guess your dreams running from you, right? So
Preach.
that's the whole reason why you need a dream catcher, because your dreams are running away from you. Wow, you're going to school to get the certificate that you need to
Can I get
follow
a
your dream,
witness?
to follow your dreams. Now make that make sense.
Make
You
that
want me to
make
chase my dreams, you want me to follow my dreams, right? But then you tell me I need a certificate for it. You telling me that I gotta pay $20,000 because that's how much cosmetology school is. Hell,
And if you want
no,
continuing
no,
education on something
no.
that you don't already have gifts in, but you're like, oh snap, my client wants this, but I don't really know how to do that, then why the fuck can't we
Right.
do like we read the books in school? Apprentice,
Yep.
even with the midwives. The
Yep.
state of Connecticut
Yep.
lets you do that apprenticeship.
Right. Right.
And maybe you got to work for a company that is being regulated. So maybe that's what I'll do. But it ain't gonna stop me from moving in my gifts and my talents.
Not
You know what I'm
never.
saying?
Not, nope.
Commodifying our fucking purpose.
Yep.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Cut it out. Cut it out. It's done. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
You
Kita
saying
said,
no more. You ain't doing
why
that to
am I
market.
paying? She said, why am I paying on something that is my gift? Right. Like that make sense.
Make that make sense. Oh, because everybody gotta do their fair share. No. What are you talking about? God was like, you are born. This is your purpose. What you doing?
This
You
is
already
your
know.
purpose.
This is what you love
Yeah.
to do as a kid. You was doing these crafts. You were doing these arts. You was doing this
Yep.
hair. You was doing this. You're doing that. If you want to
Yep.
pay somebody, which you should, who
Right.
is very gifted in something, has more experience in something,
Right.
But most of the time, they're gonna be like, "Yo, how about you help me out over here,
Yep.
and you can help clean up, and you can watch me while I do the hair. You can
Yep.
watch me while I do the massage." Just like
Right.
they did. You read the books, even with doctors and midwives. We saw it happen. But
Yep.
I know I get it when people are like, "Oh, but I want a doctor." But look, just look back in the past. You already seen it. These
Hmm.
people had apprenticeships. I'm bringing up something so
It's true.
invasive right now because just so y'all can really see it. I've read these books. I grew up reading all these books because I was in the schools and and they had us reading these books and these kids were apprentices
Mhm.
back then and they had
It was a post I just seen. I don't know if you might have shared it, but it was saying that back then, well, a while back then, the children
they're learning what? Oh yeah.
they was learning how to be firefighters.
I wonder why, because that was the village where there was like you saw your neighbor's house was on fire. Even in Tanzania, there's no police in the streets. There's not it's not like that.
Yep.
If some they still have their villages. So it's like even in the city, like nobody
Yeah.
calls the police. If some no people just know that they watch each other.
Right.
They what the kids are walking in the streets and there's no fucking problem. Real talk, it's really
Nope.
safe. And if there's a
Yep.
problem, like if there's a thief, like that's what happened. One guy, he was at the service. He was very drunk, whatever. So he shared his testimony how he walked into the wrong house, and so
Mhm.
he's Tanzanian. So he um he was sharing how because we were from America, so we were trying to understand like why this would have happened to him because he actually basically got assaulted. So he's like, out there, if you say Wheezy, are you okay, baby? If you say Wheezy, that means thief, and then the whole neighborhood will come out and fucking get on
Do
your.
something. Right.
So he
Right.
was a drunk man. It was dark at night. Even though it was his house next door, he went into the wrong one, so it was stumbling until somebody realized, oh shit, it's the motherfucking neighbor, yo. He
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was drunk, but he had all. He was they almost killed they almost beat him to death. So people don't fuck around because they don't fuck around
Right.
when you gonna fuck with kids, and they don't fuck around if you gonna steal.
Yeah.
'Cause everybody works together in that village. So
Right.
but he wasn't stealing nothing. He just drunk man going to the
Happened to
wrong
be in
house.
the wrong
But they were
house.
just
Right.
like, if you went, you trespassing. So they yelled, Weezy. The fucking neighborhood came out, machetes, everything, beating the fuck out of him. And then there was also an
Yeah.
American who I guess, and they don't fuck around. People come in there with their people. He actually did kill a Tanzanian, and they had
Okay.
that on video. And so
Okay.
he got in an argument, a fight. He killed a Tanzanian. And the whole
Yeah.
fucking neighborhood started being on his ass. I guess he was unrecognizable. I don't know if he died, but anyway, just saying that they don't know. You don't hear crime
Yeah.
because they take care of their own. That's
Right.
all. Sorry, I had to bring that up,
And
but
that's
like
what
real
we
talk,
have
it's like
to do.
there's no need for policing because that's what the police are to police the public agents. They're trying to make us think that the police
Yep.
are to police people
For
and
us. No, it
regular
says for
people.
the people. For the people. We
They
are
so
the
they supposed to make sure
people.
their people are doing their fucking job.
Yeah.
And if we need to go to them for an emergency, then yes, we go to them for an emergency. They're
But
supposed to
that's
help.
why I
But no,
told everybody make sure you read their oath because it says what it says they're supposed to do and who they work for. They work for the people.
yeah, we
It
call
says
them
that.
because we need them to do something for us. And
Right.
and they're being called. That's what happened to me the other night on that. There was
There's law enforcement. And the things that they try to enforce aren't even laws, they're codes. If you look them up online, they're under this that their code is exactly what it says it is. It's a code. Just like an article is an article, a code is a code, a law is a law. Like you can't say that a code is a law. You can't do that.
yeah, and that's for them.
And
It's
that's what
not
they
for the
do.
people. It's for them to make sure the agents are doing their fucking job, which is
Exactly.
to protect and
Yep.
serve.
But we have
And
to be able and be open to reading things for comprehension. They put things in small writing and a lot of paragraphs and different big ass words. You know what I mean? Because they know that people not reading. We have to stop doing that. When a person is expecting something from you, your best bet is to do the opposite of what they expect. If I know that a person is looking for me to get irate with them, because they did something to me, I'm not going to give them that. I'm going to give them the total opposite.
yeah, so that's the thing, and that's the thing. It's like We are literally living in a time where it just we want for our children not to have to do to do the studying. We want this to be like
Yeah.
second nature in their lives because
Yep.
we all did the fight of breaking off the
Yep.
chains, the
Yep.
psychological warfare, like she just said.
Yep.
We gotta read, and just like some people we come from them controlling us with that book, but it says study to show yourself approved.
Yep.
That Bible says study to show yourself approved. That means you read and you seek, and it says, "In all you're getting, get understanding." So you have to
Yep.
get understand. It says, "My people are destroyed by lack of knowledge." You have to know
Perish. My people shall perish for the lack of knowledge. Yes, that's
right
exactly
there.
what
So there it goes. So
exactly.
that's what you gotta do. You gotta study, and you gotta
Yep.
just get your mind out of the fucking
Yeah.
cycle of survival and be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to prioritize
Yeah.
God,
And
which
you
is you.
realize people quote when they quote out the Bible, they quote the same shit. Like I mean, the same sage. They quote the same sage. You know, because I'm working on my verbiage,
Yeah,
right?
but
But
it might be some BS, some belief
right.
system shit.
But they quote the same things. If you hear it, every church you go to, everybody they say the same things. But what they don't do is quote the spells in Psalms. They don't quote the spells or explain the lifestyles in Proverbs and the
It,
spells out of Psalms
how
that help.
come though? And that's what
Yep.
I'm saying. So like, how why you gotta ask yourself, why was our if our people was that's all they could read, they was a slave Bible,
Right.
why couldn't they
Why
get
they stop
fucking
us from
out?
reading? Why they
How couldn't
stopped
they
us from
get the
reading?
fuck? Yeah, and how the
Yeah.
fuck couldn't they get out? What was they
Yeah.
reading? What one was, and how come there wasn't? Because there was somebody, a master, who was mastering their mind and telling
Yep.
them this is what this means, this is why it means
Yep.
that. Until some of them was like, and we know
Uh-uh.
they
Yep.
didn't share them stories in the schools of some of the
Yep.
people who like, nah, like let me
No.
shout
Yeah.
out, shout out. I just learned
We
about
just learned about what's his name? Um the movie that I seen, Birth of a Nation. What was his name? Brain fart.
yep, I got the book too.
Oh, I got a brain fart. Like his
I,
name
I
was
know,
right
but I
there.
know him. Nat Turner.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Why couldn't I get that out? Like, yeah. So like he's a prime example of what they did. They felt one that they groomed them from birth, to read and things like that. And they said that they was gonna make sure that he only taught the slaves this, that, and the third until he took the initiative. He took the initiative, okay? The initiative to look at the Bible, read the Bible, and read for himself, for his understanding. And he thought and he said, they got me
Fuck.
fucking my people up
They
mentally.
funny. Fuck the.
Like they used him to mentally mess up all of the slaves to get them to go along with stuff. And he thought about that and it really hurt him. That's why he did what he did. Because he felt like he had to stand back up for his people because he felt like a sellout. He felt like a sellout. And he really wasn't a sellout because he was ignorant. He was ignorant. Yeah, he knew how to read, but he was ignorant. And he didn't read to comprehend at first. He started to read to comprehend. He was just reading the Bible verses that they told him to read, and that was that. But once he got into it and he started looking at how his lifestyle was, and then he had his own children and stuff like that, and he like, when you have children, your children will make you do some things. Your children will make you want to change some stuff for real.
Cut off a motherfucking ankle monitor and be like, I told you I wasn't playing.
I ain't playing. And guess what? And guess what? Look, my sister just said she cut off her ankle monitor, and we ain't trying to brag or boast, but she cut off the ankle monitor, and they tell you if you cut the ankle monitor off, you gonna do the remainder jail time or whatever you facing. Where's she at now?
And what they said they when I cut that shit off, they were like, I told you that man. I said, whoa, 8 niggas came to my crib. I'm like, yo. I'm a mother breastfeeding my baby. Y'all are breaching y'all not. We're here to do our job. You're not doing your job, sir. I
No,
just want to wait. Everybody, be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. Listen.
right?
You are breaching your duty, and I want to let every one of you all know I will be filing a claim against you. And I
Yeah,
had a little dress on, and it was cold as hell out. Oh, you gotta go. You gotta. I said no. I'm going to put clothes on.
right,
Oh, we gotta watch. No, I'm closing the door to put my clothes on.
right,
The only reason why I'm going is because I'm under. fear. I'm fearful with 8 of you
Yeah.
guys here. I'm just a breastfeeding mom, and I'm under
Right.
threat, duress, and coercion. That's the only reason why I'm putting my clothes on, and I'm gonna put my socks on. And like, and he's like, oh. I said, I told you I will file a claim. Stop acting like I'm over here a fucking terrorist. I'm a mother
Right.
feeding my baby. Calm
Right.
down.
That's
Calm
it.
down, sir. Let's stop pretending like we like there's something going on here. You just
Right.
wait. I know you guys are not gonna leave until you got me, even though you have no warrant. I am filing a claim. I go get dressed.
Right.
He's like, oh, just remember, I let you get dressed and you sit here in the front seat. Don't worry, we're not worried. And then he started talking to me in the car. So, and I was telling him, you're breaching your duty. I started saying, he's like, you know what? Yeah, like like you said about blowing smoke up your ass. He's like, yeah, I just want a better world for my children as well. And yes, I'm paying so much money for public school, and yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. And just get trying to have a conversation with me, nigga. And then we go, and then I'm like, and I'm definitely going to teach. You feel me? So I'm talking, and I go in there, and he's like, oh, so I gotta take your handprints. I'm like, you know, I don't consent to that, no.
Right.
And he looked at me. He's like, I just gotta do my job. I'm like,
Do your job.
and
Do your job.
he didn't take my fingerprints,
Yeah, but I'm
nothing.
saying do your job. You forcing me to consent to something is not doing your job.
It's
Do your
because
job.
they're all their friends are watching. That's the problem with us too. The majority's going to court. The majority's hiring lawyers, but none
Right.
more. Not after this shit. But they're
Yeah.
majority doing that. The majority of their friends are all just, this is what we do to you types of
Right.
people.
Yeah.
No, you don't do this. You're not. You're gonna learn today that
Yeah.
you're gonna treat me with some you're gonna treat me about who I
Yeah.
am, which is truth right here. I'm a mother feeding my baby. I'm not over here selling
Right.
kilos, selling guns and shit, and bombing fucking people.
Right.
Stop acting like you need to bum rush me because I cut off something off my ankle that I told the judge millions of
That
times.
I was gonna do anyway to get that shit up off of me.
Probation officer that too, and that's why I say let's clap for the probation officer too. Shout out for that. The Most High put that person in my place to keep telling these people, basically, leave her the fuck alone, yo. She don't do
Yeah.
shit, but like you guys are acting like she's part of some motherfucking militia.
Yeah.
And every time
Yeah.
I see her, she's reading the
Yeah.
Constitution, y'all. Like he tells them, and then they were
That's
like,
it.
and every time something happened, they were like, well, the probation officer said she's very courteous. The probation officer. So that's why I said, y'all, don't go crazy. Just chill, because when you just really focus and do the best you can and know that you're connected to the divine power within you, that divine power is going to put people in your place to help you along the next step, a part of your walking in your birthright, the next
I'm
step, a
tripping
part of
so hard
walking in
because
your
I
authority.
know for a fact that you sound like how they said it. Like she's very courteous. Like
Yeah, they're like,
they be
she's very.
so they like it be so weird because they be looking like they have home training. Like
Yeah,
what?
I know it, right? She's actually she's not Jerry Springer type like her ex-husband
She's
made
not
her
at
seem like.
all the
They
way
even
he
said they were like,
portrayed her to be.
right? He was like, you can't see the kids because of your mental health, like some bullshit, right? And they're like, she doesn't have no mental health issues. She's on, and then that's what they even said in court. They're like, she's online, she's posting about everything. She doesn't, and she knows that what she's doing is right. So we can't, we're not arresting her for any mental health. She can't plead for mental health, for mental
You know,
illness.
it's
I'm like, I
crazy
ain't
that you
me
say she's posting
my kid.
online because I actually thought about stop posting for a while, and I'm like, why? You know why though?
Well,
But I'm
yeah,
like,
it's your,
nah,
it's your freedom of speech.
yeah,
Of course,
no,
you have a moment to
no,
like pause and really
no,
think because you got babies, but then you're like, yo, this is
yeah,
my right. This is my
yeah.
constitutional right. Yeah,
But it
you got.
be like everybody that you talk to, like your family, that's like, I just want you to talk to an attorney. I just want you to get a lawyer, and I'm like,
So
I just want you to shut
you
the
can go
fuck
to
up. Like,
trial. She can go
yeah,
to trial
like
because the attorney
so
only gets
you
paid if you go to trial.
like I literally had to like cut somebody off because they literally was like, I just want you to they can help you. And I'm like, they can help me. So you telling me them trying to tell me I've read the plea to him like 5 times. I'm like, yo, listen, you're not listening to comprehend and understand what I'm saying. You're just listening and you just a yes sir ass nigga. Like, no.
Yes,
This plea
master.
says, and I'm gonna read it. The plea says 90 days with 90 days in jail with 90 days suspended, right? And see, that's how they play with you. They want to give you some verbiage like that so you can be like, oh, it's no jail time. You better go ahead and take that walk, that cake walk, right? Because that's exactly what the dude said, the cake walk, right? So you want me to consent to 90 days in jail with 90 days suspended for a year of my time, right? Refer to a local probation for a mental health assessment.
That's against my religion.
Not even just that. Why do they always try to come for a person's mental health? I'll tell you one
They
reason,
want
right?
that shit because they know what the fuck they did.
Not even just that. When you start dibbling dabbling in somebody's supposed to be mental health, and you go to put certain things on paper, and they sign those documents, right, stating that they came and sat with a mental health uh person or whatever, and after I consent to sitting down with you, you can put whatever you want to put on the paperwork, right? Okay. So then that opens up so many different avenues. First of all, if I have a mental health problem, then I can't carry. I don't have the right to open carry my firearms, let
And
alone
you
have
have a
one.
constitutional right.
Correct. So then, not even just that, they also try to dibble and dabble in your personal life with your children when it
Right.
comes to your mental health.
And
That's the first thing that they go after.
that's what happened. That everybody's
No.
talking too much. We need to learn not to talk to nobody.
Yeah. And I'm learning that. I'm learning that. Actually, the last time I went to my dad's house, I went to go take him his laptop, right? Because I was doing the last document before you put me on game, right? And he was like, yeah, you go to court, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, I had already told him what I was doing anyway. And so he was like, so everything straight. I was like, yeah, everything good. But I won't give him no combo because I've already told you what I'm gonna do. You got this fuck ass ring door, excuse my French. You got this ring door camera right here, and you're talking to me. Are you with them? I think about all of this type of stuff,
Yeah.
because those ring cameras they record while you're right there.
Right, right. But I'm glad I had them because when they came bum rushing in my crib with no fucking warrant
No,
and
no,
like,
no. Nothing is wrong with him. But if he was going to
but
ask me of that, he should have asked me that in the house.
right, right.
You don't ask me anything on the camera in front of your residence. Like I just felt some type of way about that, so I kind of like backed up from him, like for real. And he feeling it because like, yo, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm
Well, you
talking
gotta
about.
protect your energy. You
Yeah, I
gotta
know what I'm
protect.
talking about. I don't talk. One thing about me, Jess, I don't talk unless I know what I'm talking about. I
Right.
don't just talk for any reason. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people. I don't do small talk. So
Yeah,
if
you
I'm coming to you and I'm talking about some legal stuff and what I'm gonna do with this and do with my life, I'm confining that into you. I'm just letting you know because you my dad. You know what I mean? That's just that. But I'm not coming to you for confirmation. Is what we're
right.
not going to anyone for confirmation anymore. For
Right. And that's what you learn when you're like, okay, I'm gonna come out of this. It's like you start learning like
yeah,
it's just that some people that's the thing. It's just that it's not you're not gonna be aligned with certain people who want to stay in the fear.
true, true.
'Cause okay, so this is the basically one of the we lead into the point. You start to when you start, like she said, studying and reading, first of all, you studying yourself
Yep,
mentally, like what happened to me,
yeah,
seeking your power inside of you. That starts with you prioritizing yourself
yep,
and that time with yourself. And then you start and then divine will start leading you, give you answers, give you the right people. And you start getting to know yourself. You start getting to know your fears, getting over them. Who and then you start realizing people that you're good, but then certain people come, they start projecting that fear again, and you know you can't move off of that fear because that's not
yeah,
you can't. The Most High's power did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a
yep,
sound mind.
yep,
So you're not gonna be moved off of fear. So when people come with you, it's not that oh F them right now, but while you're trying to get free and walk in your birthright, which has been
yep,
commodified for ages, and it's like a whole spiritual war, you gotta protect your energy from these people and
yeah,
get and that just comes and so and all that, you start really becoming you,
yeah,
becoming your power, walking in
yeah,
your power, being that goddess that you're supposed to be.
yep.
And like
And
that
when
is
she
what
said get free, when you're starting to get free, you don't have to ask for freedom. You don't you just claim it. That's
right.
it.
Yeah, it's not
That's
like,
it.
oh, it's a piece of paper. I got like they talk on Lawful
Yeah.
Living on Tuesdays at 3
No.
all the time. So what I gotta put and
No.
authenticate my birthright, all that. I'm not authenticate my birth certificate, all this stuff. No, you don't have to do anything. Like just walk in your authority, and it just
Yep.
starts with seeking your power, which is the divine power within
Yep.
you, seeking that, reading, showing yourself approved, and figuring out what these laws say, comprehending and knowing,
Yep.
and
Yep.
moving. And I'm telling you that your spirit is gonna guide you into, and you're just gonna track like you just living your life. It's all in the rules. That's it. You're gonna know when you
That's
just
it.
take that time. But everybody want to be on here scrolling, and keep scrolling,
Right.
scrolling.
That's it.
But
And
like,
and looking at the wackest stuff that I
take
ever
your
seen in my life,
time.
like, oh God. And see,
Honest,
when people that I know talk to me about things that doesn't add any value to me, or is nothing that I can get out of it, I don't go ahead and get those people out of my life. Like, I have a cousin that she want to send me stuff. I'm going to court. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And you sending me stuff that doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, no, don't send me that. And then I have somebody else that was sending me, asking me, was I watching the baddies? Do I look like I watch the
I'm bad. I'm kidding.
I
But
used to like stuff like that. Don't get me wrong,
no, I
oh,
got you. But like, no, real talk. But that's what another thing though. Sis over here, she does consultations. I do consultations
yeah,
because that's like I said with the beginning.
yeah,
She was holding space for me.
hmm,
I was able to hold space for her. And
yeah,
I know, like, okay, lawful living, when it comes to going to your getting your remedy, go to lawfulliving.com. But they're gonna
right,
help you with remedy. They're not gonna hear, well, they did this to me, and then they said
right, right,
this,
right.
and you're gonna be overwhelmed, and you're just gonna feel like
Because when you go
how
into
you
your story, she's gonna cut you off.
yeah, because
And
the
she want to
story don't
know the
matter.
base.
The story don't matter.
Right,
They should never violate you to begin with. So it's nothing
right,
personal. But that is where kind of we mamas come in and are
right,
like, we let it out. We know you need to let that shit out.
right,
And we know what you went through because we went through it.
right,
And then we can kind of direct you, not with fear, like maybe your uncle and your
right.
father and your mother and whoever in your life might do and lead like and it's gonna kind of fuck up with your
Yeah,
growth and your birthright and walking in your birthright. So that's
yep,
why she does consultations, I do consultations, and you can just hit us up, book your consult, and it's like and then we have time to be like and get it so that we can help and
yeah,
direct you and keep your mind from all of the distraction because we came from that and we want the best for you. We
right.
want the best for your babies. We want the best for humanity. So let's go. Let's
Yes,
do this.
yes. And we want to actually be able to live and not have to look over our shoulders all the time, and you know, and walk on eggshells for people, and especially people that walk around with a so-called badge that's supposed to actually protect and serve you. Okay,
Right. And
so
really you'll be so empowered because then you'll just be educating them. Because that's what happened to me. Like I
yeah,
said, it was two
that's
times
it.
in a row that they do pull up on like, hey,
Yeah,
you're the bad guy. Then you're like,
yeah,
whoa, I'm not actually. You'll be confident to just talk, and then they calm down. There's nothing
yeah,
because they're being trained. So we've
yep,
been trained to think that they're always against us, and
yeah.
then they're being trained that we are troublemakers. So, but
I stopped using my ID.
yeah, I don't. The guy
I
asked me
stopped. I
five
don't even
yesterday. I
carry
looked
it
at
at
him and
all.
I wasn't rude. I was just like, I
Yeah.
don't have to answer that
Because I think
question. And
from
you,
this moment forward, if anything was to ever happen, if I so called, I guess, get pulled over while I'm traveling, I would, I'm equipped. I'm fully equipped. You know what I mean? But I really think that, not trying to tell nobody what to do, but I really think people need to stop using those contracts. They really need to stop using those contracts. Everything is a contract. The Virginia state ID or whatever city or state that you're in, the ID is a contract. Everything is a contract. A marriage certificate is a contract. And it's not just a contract with you and that person that you're married to, is a contract with the government. And what do
right,
you need a contract with someone? The birth certificate is a contract. Why do you need a
not a
third
birthright.
party always involved in your life?
You
You
need
are
to stop.
giving
This is the
someone
sin.
the the consent to just meddle in your life whenever they feel like it, and that's not cool.
You need, and honestly, you gotta basically that's what the repent is about. You gotta repent
Right,
from
right.
worshiping that God.
But you'll let the government and the Commonwealth and stuff play third party in your relationship. But me as your sister, your soul sister, your melanated sister, somebody that looks like you, if I say something and try to discipline your child just by correcting them verbally, you want to fight me because I said something to your child? We have to really make stuff make sense, y'all.
Right,
We
but
really
the
have to do
thing
that.
they got to they like you said, they gotta fucking read. So don't
Yeah,
do
they gotta
shit
read.
until you start
Yeah,
fucking reading. Don't
yeah,
even
it's
like
true.
fucking
It's
read.
true.
That's it. Because that's
It's
the
true.
thing. That's why they don't get it. Because that's when the people knock on the door, you don't have to answer.
No, who's opening the door these
But
days anyway?
that's because
I
no,
don't
we
even
gotta
open the
read.
door. If
It's
you my
me.
cousin,
Mm.
if you my cousin and you come to my house and you didn't call or text before you come, I don't even think I'm opening the door then
I know,
because
but that's the thing, and that's you have to read their rules because they're supposed to go to the house of the people who called them, and that's what I said. He came pulled up on
right.
me, and I said, I didn't call you. Then he's
No.
like, oh, but the neighbors are asking. I said, then you need to go speak to the neighbors. It sounds like they have an emergency. Well, they
Mm,
said there's been a fire. I'm like, this is private property. Oh, well, they said I don't see an emergency. I walked away. He's like, oh, I'll
right.
follow you. I said, don't follow me.
Don't follow me.
I recorded then and I started walking and then he's like, I just want to let you know, you gotta to have something around your fire. I said, thank you. Happy New Year. Close my
Right.
fucking door. I didn't
Right.
turn around. I wanted to know that I'm not sitting here to do no report. I'm not giving you my motherfucking name. You want to talk and talk and talk and keep violent. He already violated me. But I don't
Right.
need to go off and I don't need to go file a claim. I can because he did
Right.
violate me. But I'm
Hmm.
just like, I just want them to leave me the fuck alone
Right.
and know that they don't I can just be peaceful and I'm walking in my authority and living my life. The more
That's
we do
it.
it, the more people that do it, the more they get it, the more they read their own rules, the more they realize. And like I said, the bornfreemovie.com, we're going to keep
Yeah.
talking about it and talking about it and talking about
Yeah.
it so
It's
that
where
the
you need to
government,
be. You need to be in those classes. They have classes every Tuesday, Thursday,
every,
and Friday.
yep. The
Newbie
Tuesday is a newbie
Tuesdays.
one though.
Yeah, you need to be in Newbie Tuesdays. Everybody. I don't care if you don't have to make every class, but you need to be there.
Every
Either
Tuesday
be
on,
there or be square in a
right,
square
be
box.
square.
Just like look in a
Every
square box.
Tuesday at
'Cause
3 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Eastern, um, on TikTok. It's called lawfulliving.com. This the link is in the description.
okay,
Every and it says everything on there. And then if you join a community, they have the whole community. People are gonna map people. They can be people from your own cities that have dealing with the same thing you've dealt with. That you can
yep,
really get a lot of help.
yes you can,
Definitely,
yes you
like
can.
very, very
Honestly, if it wasn't for you, giving me the info and adding me into the group and stuff, like I'll be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Like I would still want to do what I was doing, but without knowing and being able to learn, I would have been like, what the F? Like what the F? Because it's a situation where they want you to be stressed out. That's why if you ever look online, it's only two options. Is either you get a public defender. Okay, so they say you have the right to attorney. If you can't afford one, we can give you one. So though they make that your only option to have an attorney. Either you can afford one or you can't. But you have the right to have an attorney, which basically they're trying to force an attorney on you.
because they
But they
won't
don't
listen to
ever
you.
say you have the right to either pro se, and you don't even want to pro se because you have no reason to pro se. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
You
reading stuff
don't
like
go. Don't fucking
just
go.
read. Yeah, just
But
read.
don't
Just
fucking go. But you're gonna have that confidence and you're gonna be able to renew your mind. Like she said,
yeah,
go to those lawful living classes
yeah.
and like
And the library has a law section. A law
pro.
section. And honestly, those are the only books that I read these days. I don't go to the library to get anything but law books. I don't get a chance to check them out because you can't check them out here. You can only read them while you're at the library. Ain't that something? And
Right.
and you can only like take pictures and get copies of it and stuff like that. But you should be teaching your children. They already learn what they learn at these fake ass schools, right? What are they learning at home? What are you teaching them at home? I'm talking about other than cleaning the dishes the proper way or cleaning their room the proper way or learning how to fold clothes. What are we really teaching our children? We teach them how to spend money, but are we teaching them how to deal with money the proper way or invest? We teaching them that if they get pulled over by the police or they get stopped by the police to just hurry up and keep your hands visible and things like that. But are we teaching them how to properly deal with these so-called peace officers. We're not teaching them the necessary tools that they need to live this life, especially as a carbon color individual.
You they need to master their mind and know that infinite abundance was their that's what you need to be teaching your kids. It's spiritual first. And
Yep.
I do those too. Check it out. Like all
Yep.
that homeschool, my homeschool stuff is rooted in the spiritual
Right.
because they got to know that infinite abundance is their birthright and that their
Right.
birthright has been commodified and they know how to they don't have to walk they don't walk in fear, so there's nothing,
Yeah.
so when they're pulled over they wouldn't even be pulled over. They got to be thinking that they're manifesting even that. Like,
Right.
nah, everywhere I go, everything they do is intentional. Everywhere I'm doing this. It's my purpose. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And they're already ready for it before they do anything. Oh, I like this woman. She just posted something.
Okay.
We can talk or whatever, but I'm gonna pull it up. I don't know how fast it'll be.
I was
Okay.
listening to Erykah Badu right yesterday, and I stopped in the middle of the song, and I told my daughter we was driving somewhere, and I was like, I paused and I said, if we were made in His image, then call us by our names, right? And that was it. And I told her, I said, what does that mean to you? I said, if we were made in His image, I said, who is His image? She said, God. I said, okay. So if we were made in His image, then call us by what is our name? So I mean, she was God's children. I said, okay, but we are God. That's what we are.
Right.
So we're not raising kids. We're not raising children. With kids, we know those are what, baby goats or something like that.
That kids what?
What are kids? That's baby goats, really?
Oh
Kids,
yeah, exactly. Baby goats. I
right?
ain't they know baby goats.
Right. So we're not raising kids. We're raising God. If we
Right.
were made in His image, then call
Exactly.
us by our name. That's all I'm saying.
And if
So, and the only reason I said that is because you said that not even getting pulled over, we just want to teach our children how to move and walk and walk in their capacity, their potential, stuff like that. Like we want them to already know from the time they wake up in the morning. Well, the rising, because we got to change the way. But from the time they wake up in their rising, before they even put their feet on their floor, that their attention, everything that they think about, they have to set attentions with everything from their thoughts, their actions, the way that they speak. Everything is attention.
exactly.
So I was just
And that's
thinking back
exactly
to
and
what
so
you were
that's the
saying.
perfect and that's
Yeah.
the perfect thing because that's exactly what she said. She said, Erin Lyons official, before you do anything intentionally, like she just said, choose to activate the highest timeline of that experience.
Hmm.
Craft the storyline you desire rather than projecting negativity into your future. So these are the types of things we want to get our children in the habit of. We gotta get ready and go see government, the government school or the God what in the government job that whatever fucking thing you think you about to do. No, you need to go spend your time with the divine power within you
Right.
and intentionally be intentional about what you're about to do today, even before you get your feet off the floor, however that looks like for you, family. But when
Right.
you're raising your children, you gotta raise. We got to make sure we're teaching them to spend time with their power, because then their power is gonna tell them, take that left, don't go right.
Yep.
You cool, you peaceful. Put it, in your intention about the music in your car, and then they pulling up. It's like you'll know they'll know what to do. They'll know what to say. Your power is going to
Yep.
be able to say
This
what
is a
needs to be
true
said.
story too. One day, I say this was about 3 years now, and this before I even know anything that I know. But I did know that the lights that the police use, they're not supposed to turn those on if it's not an emergency. So we were coming from basketball practice, and I remember them trying to get over into the right lane, but it was a car right there, which the officers called, and it was like they were riding silent, so I wouldn't get over. I had my signal light on and everything. Now the specific car that I was driving, it was a up to date car for the year that it was. And
And
the way that
the
the
way that the
car is
car is
made,
made,
it won't
it won't
allow me to
allow
get
me to get
over if a
over if a
car is
car
right
is
there,
right
right?
there, right?
So I
So I
spread up,
spread up,
but I
but I
wasn't going
wasn't going
crazy over the
crazy over
speed
the
limit.
speed limit.
The police
The
officer
police
ended
officer
up
ended up
putting her
putting
lights
their
on.
lights on.
I didn't
I
pull
didn't
over.
pull over.
In
In
fact,
fact,
I
I
proceeded to
proceeded
go
to
wherever
go
I was
wherever I
going,
was
which was
going, which was
Wawa's, to
Wawa's,
get my
to
baby
get my
some
baby
ice
some
at the
ice
time.
at the time.
And so
And
she
so
hopped
she
out
hopped
the
out
car.
the car.
She put
She
her
put her
lights like
lights like
directly
directly
in my
in
mirror,
my
so I
mirror,
couldn't
so I
see.
couldn't see.
But she
But
came
she came
around to the
around
past
to the past
side,
side
and
and
immediately was
immediately was
aggressive.
aggressive.
Um,
Um,
License and
License and
registration. Why did
registration.
you
Why did you
pull
pull
over
over
when I put my
when I put
lights
my lights
on?
on?
So I gave
So I
her the
gave her the
license.
license.
She asked for the
She asked for the
registration. I told
registration.
her
I
she
told
could
her
get
she could
whatever
get
she
whatever she
needed
needed
with the
with the
license that I
license
gave
that
her.
I gave her.
So she was
So
like,
she was like,
"Well,
"Well,
why are you
why are you
driving like
driving
that with
like that with
children in the
children in the
car?" Da, da,
car?"
da,
Da,
da.
da,
So
da.
I told
So
her, I
I told
said,
her, I
"Look,
said, "Look,
what we're
what
not
we're
gonna
not
do
gonna do
is try to
is
use
try to
my
use my
children
children
against me.
against
We're
me.
not gonna
We're
do
not gonna
that.
do that.
So we're gonna
So we're
stop.
gonna stop.
You have
You have
no
no
authorization." Oh,
authorization. Oh,
I missed the
I
part.
missed the part.
Before she
Before she
even
even
walked up
walked up
completely to the
completely to the
car, she
car,
stopped
she
my
stopped my
oldest daughter
oldest
from
daughter
getting
from
out
getting
of the
out
car
of the car
and told her
and
to stay
told
in
her
the
to stay in
car.
the car.
I rolled
I
my
rolled
window
my
down
window
and I
down and
looked
I
over
looked
at
over
her
at
and
her
my
and my
daughter. I
daughter. I
said, "Go
said,
in
"Go in
Wawa,
Wawa,
get your
get your
ice, and I'll
ice,
be
and
done by the
I'm
time you
done
come."
back.
I looked at the
I looked at
officer
the
and told
officer
her,
and
"Don't
told
she
her, "Don't
ever in
she
her
ever
life
in her
speak to
life
my
speak to my
child.
child.
She has
She
no
has no
authorization
authorization
to speak to
to
my
speak
child."
to my child."
And I didn't
And I
even
didn't
know
even
anything
know
that I
anything
knew now,
that I knew that.
but I knew
But
that
I knew
she
that she
could not
could
control
not
my.
control my. Right.
So
So
I gave her the
I gave her the
license.
license.
She
She
tried to make
tried to
me
make me
irate. She
irate.
tried to
She tried to
provoke
provoke
the
the
situation,
situation.
but I
But
kept
I
calm.
kept calm.
And I was
And
like,
I
"You
was
know
like, you
what?
know
You're not
what?
giving
You're not
me.
giving
You
me.
have
You
what you
have
need.
what you need.
Go ahead and
Go
run
ahead
that
and run that
license.
license.
It's gonna come
It's gonna
back to
come
this
back to this
car, whatever
car,
you
whatever
need."
you need.
By the time my
By the
daughter
time my
came
daughter
out
came
of
out of
Wawa's,
Wawa's,
and
and
the police
the police
officer had
officer had
threw my
threw my
license at
license at
and pulled
and
off
pulled
so
off so
fast. She was
fast. She was
mad.
mad.
She was
She
really
was
mad.
really mad.
I
Some of
do
I
people,
do
my
right,
rights.
my rights.
right, and so that's what it is. So that's what we got to move in. We got to walk, just like how you just did. You did well. Besides, like you said, you didn't even with you not even knowing, like all
No, I
this
didn't
No, I
know it.
didn't
undeveloped
know it.
law going on now, where you didn't even have to give them
Yep.
no license. I can't say I'm not. I stopped driving after that shit
Right.
happened to
Right,
Right.
me. I
right.
stopped driving, but
Well, you
when
never
Well,
was
you
driving
never was
in the
driving
first place,
in the first
but
place, but
no, I'm saying like I actually
you
went to
stopped
go.
you stopped
traveling.
traveling.
I stopped Yeah, that's what you meant. Yeah, okay, now I get what you're saying.
Hmm.
So yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I stopped traveling because I didn't want. I don't have my own vehicle, so I didn't want to. And they don't want to be free, so I can't make them. So I was like, but when I get my vehicle, I'm gonna have it all set up. Like, got my private plates, got my,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm gonna have my little thing where because I already know what I'd be saying that gets them scared when it comes to the claims. I'll be like, when they come to my window, write your name right here, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said I was
I
gonna
said I
go
was
and
gonna
give me
go to give
another
me another
binder.
I
binder.
said, write your name. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, write your
Yeah.
name right here, please.
Yeah.
So let me
Yeah.
drive. Like I'm gonna have things so I can give them their paper. I'm not talking here, so they can
Yeah.
everything that's gonna be on everything I would have said is gonna be on a piece of paper. You can take that. You can sign and give it back to me and
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sitting there right there.
That's it.
That's it.
I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna
Hmm.
stop. I'm gonna definitely stop because I don't,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. Just to let you. You're
And they
inconveniencing.
gonna
And
be
they
Every,
gonna
so
be
I'm just
so
gonna say
too.
something like every minute that I am sitting here, I am calculating. So a part of my claim because you are violating my private right. I'm gonna write it all down. I'm gonna put a couple of just a cute, simple bump, bump,
right.
bump,
Right.
with the motherfucking law and their motherfucking oath, and sit and wait for him to give me my shit.
Right.
So
Right.
you have a choice. You can write, and I'm gonna make it there that you have a choice to write your information here or
Yeah.
give me my paper back and let me keep motherfucking traveling.
Right.
Right.
That's what's gonna say on there, but without the motherfucking, so I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be sitting there like with a song like I will be one of the greatest. That is a looking at the thing. I
Yeah.
got your license plate anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, girl, I'm about to we have to end this live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know
Because
them
I know them
babies is
babies
ready to
is
hop
ready to
on me.
hop on me.
Right? Same with her over here.
Whew.
She was loud enough. I don't know how loud she was, but girl, that was.
Oh no,
I don't
she
Oh
was
know.
no,
fine.
she was fine.
She was fine.
She
She
was
was a
fine. She was a
baby.
baby.
I'm saying, so she wasn't too loud, right? But I
No.
heard her
No.
yelling. I'm like, that
Nope.
girl. But
Nope.
well, I'll let y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. But other than that, I wanted to say that all the links are in the description where you can find my
Yep.
information.
Yep.
as well as thebornfreemovement.com. And we gonna keep talking about these, bringing awareness about this information, from a mother's perspective, um, because our children's lives depend on it. So if y'all feel what we putting down, y'all picking up what we putting down, then go click the links in the description. And thank y'all for being here. And you can
Right.
say whatever you want to say, sis. And thank you
I don't
for
have
being
really much
here.
to say other than time for us to focus on our children and take our communities back, get the village back in order, and stop allowing outsiders to dictate to our lifestyle. Yep. And we move better in numbers. So we can't be minority. And I know no one said this. I like to think I came up with the quote, but I know I didn't. But how can you be a minority when you are majority?
That part. Can we give some shout outs to some people? You said some. You said Nat, because I just read some stuff. You said Nat Turner.
Nat Turner.
Yeah, you mentioned about Nat Turner, and then I mean, for me, I just studied some women. Well, two people that just come to my mind right now, and I feel like I just want to just like, well, Martin Luther King Day is coming up, so shout
Okay.
out to our ancestor, um, pushing some work when it comes to freedom, but. I was studying around about some indigenous people around here, and
Hmm.
I want to just give a shout out to this because I don't know, I just felt her energy because of us
Okay.
talking. So, a Washanks, she was a female chief of the Sakonnet tribe,
Hmm.
and that's so out here we know and then there was somebody sent me about Queen Calafia, who was the Queen of California. I
You
believe
know,
that's
it's crazy though that
they got
you
the name
mentioned,
from it.
not to cut you off, it's crazy that you said she was a female chief because most of the chiefs were females anyway. No one knows that because it's always been a man's world,
Not,
but it
but
wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl.
and that's the lie and the sin that we was born in, as well as
Right.
trying to
That we came from the rib.
putting all of this putting all this confusion when it don't make no motherfucking sense. So let's
Look,
bring
that's
it
another
back.
laughing idea.
Let's put the shit back in order.
Right.
The order of the first teachers. Oh, we love
Civilization.
yo.
Why you
We
think they
love
call it the mother of civilization?
and why you think the world is all fucked up? Because Mama got to take her place. Because
Mama got to take her place.
Mama love the Mama love the kids. Mama love the
Yep.
men. Mama love the children. Mama love the
Yep.
mamas. Mama love the sisters. Mama love the brothers. Mama will take good care. And these
Yep.
other, we
They
got
don't
some.
get it.
But they getting it now. They
Yep.
realizing, and we showing, and we gonna do what we gotta do to get the shit right back in order, and it's gonna be peace, more peace for our children, peace for our future, abundance in every area of our lives. And so, yeah, if you want to shout out anybody else, but I felt like I needed to shout out the little bit of the history I did do on Queen Calafia, and a little, and then I just started studying about Awashonk was a female chief of the Sakonnet tribe, and
Hmm.
she what did a huge she ended up having this did because of her, the children and the women were not being enslaved, and the tribes, and it was like I know the whole like the Sakonnet tribe, so it's basically the coast of Rhode Island and up into I believe Mass as well and Connecticut.
Okay.
So she was the leader, and these colonizers were here, and she had some like situation where like the same where we're over here sending our notices, letting the people know, and letting them know like, yo, we come in peace, yo, but y'all ain't about
Yeah.
to just violate us. So she was doing her work and was like, yo, we come in peace, and then they left. They were not, and then she did what she had to do so that they would not enslave the women and the children anymore. Until some
Hmm.
man got in the fucking way, and then it happened. But she was able to protect the fucking whole tribe and the whole fucking people in Rhode Island at a point before they
Right.
colonized. And yeah. So anyway, so shout out to her, and
Yeah.
you know,
I just got a couple of people to shout out. Really. That I get a couple of teachers from on different levels. My sister Crystal, the alkaline doula, definitely be having teachings about the same things that we talk about. She go a little more into depth about things, as far as like the diets and things that we supposed to live by, which will help us be able to tap into our God energy and comprehend what we're supposed to, comprehend for the knowledge of self to be able to maneuver in this fictitious world. So shout out to Crystal the Alkaline doing in
Can you put her like
Louisiana.
put her information in there because I want to know. We all learn.
Okay. And then shout out to my brother Rayshawn Jamal. They got the guy behind the bars right now, but they can't imprison his body, but they can't imprison his brain. So you already know. He already said they didn't fuck with the last generation. Yeah.
Last one.
And yeah, like I said, my ancestors. The ancestors just been teaching us to give us Malcolm X. You feel me? So like, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all right, we getting ready for Black History Month coming up. We know it's Black History every fucking moment. American history.
Okay.
Black history is American history.
I'm black all year round. I'm black.
Yeah.
Gay.
And so we always gonna move. You see us, we over here making history.
Yep.
We making history right
Yeah.
now as we speak. So we thank our spirit teams.
Yeah.
Divine
Oh, well,
spirits
shout
of
out to
Black
Kanye West
ancestors.
too. 'Cause he said no more Black history. He said Black future. That's what we celebrating from
Okay,
now.
let's
Black
shout out to
future.
Kanye. I'm gonna go listen.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'm a chill.
And I don't really deal with celebrities at all. So
Yo, but but no, I've
yeah.
been getting put on. They getting
Yeah.
woke. I mean, not saying they ain't getting woke. I think
Yeah.
in a way, some even me, I'm getting up to speed of some of them who like
Yeah.
Lauren Hill talking about I
Yeah.
get out. What? She was,
Right. Well, that's all in receiving the message and not worrying about the messenger.
yo.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
people are people is it's wild like the time we're living in. So that's why I'm very hopeful. And like you said, this is black like you so what you say, no black future.
No more Black history. Black future.
And I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be good for everybody. It's gonna be
Yeah.
good for everybody, whatever
Yeah.
tone you is,
We're not
because
paying attention to Black history anymore. It's okay to honor our ancestors and study our lineage, but we're not allowing ourselves to worry about the slave trades and all the slavery stuff that they told us about, all the Jim Crow laws and all that.
yo,
The
shout
walls
out.
of
I
Houston.
got a shout out.
Yeah.
Maya Styles. Shout out Maya
Jess
Styles.
Ease.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Malika as well.
Yeah.
Shout out Malika Dulce. I don't know how to say her last name, but her too.
Yeah.
Shout out
The
to
top
me.
unicorn of them all. Look, the top unicorn of them all.
Shout out Nyota making history.
Yeah.
Nyota making history. We getting all the babies. The babies.
Mm-hmm.
We getting
Yep.
Aye, sis. And shout out to Sunshine and Moonshine.
And Moonlight. Yes.
Moonlight and Sunshine. I said Moonshine.
Look, just call them the Moonshine Twins.
That's where I got it from. Shout out to the Moonshine Twins. They making history. These are the first like generation of children who's gonna be just walking in abundance and self sustainability and just abundance and no problem, just living in alignment with nature and just on some
they came to save the world.
Wakanda status.
Yeah, they came to save the world.
I know that's right. So we leave it at that. Shout out to our babies.
All right.
I love you.
I love you too.
Peace, y'all.
Love.
Make sure you put that in the description. The sister.
How do I do that? Let me see.
Even after we get out, you can go in the comments and put it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I
That's
love
what I'll
you.
do. All right. Love you.